such primitive.
Hello, and welcome to the Saladcast on Sunday, the 18th of January, 2026. I'm your host, Dan Train. Joining me today, Zachary Burgess.
That's me.
And Robert Kemp.
Arabio.
You'll rob us? Oh, no.
Oh, no. That's not quite what I meant by that. It's like Zach went, it's me, and I was like, it's Arabio.
Oh, Robbie. I thought you said,
I'm going to rob you.
I guess we get robbed every single time on this podcast.
I mean, I try not to threaten people the first time I see them.
When you first meet them and introduce yourself.
It's a conscious effort, I know.
Hi, I'll rob you.
Hello, mate. Can I talk for you a second? Stab, stab, stab.
Well, I thought it's only robbery. You don't have to stab them.
No, I didn't necessarily mean I would be doing stabbing. I would just sort of shout, stab, stab, stab.
I mean, that is kind of more traditional.
You don't want to be named Stab, but that would be worse.
Stab Rob? Stab Rob? Stab Rob. Stab.
Is that the order in which you do it? You want to stab first.
Stab first, ask questions later. It's the Hyrule Warriors way.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is a podcast about video games. Get that in earlier.
When you're driving along the motorway, is that highway robbery?
What if I was to just like lean out of the window and be like, "Give us your money, giz." Or like just throw knives at them.
I mean, maybe just pottering around being yourself counts as robbery.
I mean, for me, yeah. It's Zach is already Zachary, so you know
he's Zachary.
The process of being Zach is already Zachary.
Whatever that means.
Zacharying around.
And Daniellery.
Yeah, does that need to go in there? I guess so.
I mean, it needs to go.
Yeah,
it needs to go in a salad. By the sounds of it, it's appropriate.
No, clearly.
Daniela.
Daniellery.
Salad.
Clearly, for Dad, it's training.
Training.
Training. Yeah,
He's only training. Don't worry about it.
I'm only training, exactly. My trainers.
Yeah, we've only been doing 15 years of training. We're not ready for a podcast yet.
No, not
ready.
Prime time.
We're not ready.
But we're here anyway.
It's just warming up.
Yeah. We'll be warming up until we're no longer warm.
This isn't even our final form. I mean, that's clearly true. One of us will
die. Yeah. Probably.
What?
And then that'll be our final form.
Only one, though.
Well, one of us will die, and then that'll be the end of the podcast. That's fairly certain, I would say.
Yeah, fair. Assuming that, the AI doesn't start doing the podcast instead.
Oh my god, yeah.
So as we discussed several years ago, even at this point, we were already like, AI could totally just replicate our entire podcast if you just fed it all of our podcasts.
Yeah, there's probably more than
data.
enough training data, to just be like, okay, can you make a podcast out of our voices?
Right, and we make it all available for free.
Yeah.
Have you seen any bots scraping all of our podcasts on our website? Probably. But not necessarily the files. I mean, that's slightly different.
I mean, they could.
Well, yes, they could, but but would they?
Yes. I think we can categorically say yes.
Clearly, it would be more funny if the bots had scraped all the bullshit Rob types on the website. I can replicate Rob's randomness on the typing of the podcast feed.
I can't hold my hands up and say I'm not responsible for the failure of large language models. I might not be helping.
There is something interesting about talking about AI, the topic of conversation in all forms, for the rest of time, is that it seems to be the nature of it that because they're trying to predict what the next word is or token, LLMs, they never try and surprise you. So they're just basically blanket not funny.
Right, yeah.
Like no LLMs are funny. I'm sure they're very good at doing tests and stuff, but they can't write a joke because they can't surprise anyone because they always tend towards the more obvious thing to say.
Sure.
Or even when they can make a joke, it's a really old joke that everyone's already done before because that's what they've learned.
Because they've
learned the structure of that joke.
But they can't improvise around that joke in a surprising... The only way to make an old joke that you've heard before funny is to do a twist on it that's unexpected, right? And they can't do that.
Well, no, they can't do that. And even if they try and come up with something original, it's then not a joke. Do you know what I mean? There's something about like when you ask an AI to make a new joke up, it makes something that just isn't inherently fun. It's just a fact or something.
Right. Like it tries to put it in the structure of a joke, but there's no surprise in it. So
and somehow you'd think even if it went completely random and a bit off-piste, like old meme generator stuff used to do, right? But those weren't AI, I guess. But even then they're not random enough. They've somehow taken surrealism and made it bland.
Right. They just can't do it. And so I don't think they could even do your podcast descriptions for the website because they are quite random.
I don't know. Maybe just... Well, what are the key ingredients of a Rob blurb? Like maybe some pork pies.
That comes up that frequently.
It's just always the one I remember.
Yeah, but it's because you use pork pies in a weird context that they don't belong. That's what makes them funny.
What even was that one? Something about underground pork pie delivery belts or something?
That's the old
exactly.
one. It's a very old one.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even just the blurb. That was literally in the podcast.
Oh, were we? Oh, were we talking about that? Okay.
Oh, yeah, we were. Yeah, I think we're safe for now on that front. Not that
unreplicable.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times where I'm trying to put those things together, and I wish my memory or my ability to, just listen to the podcast was slightly better. So they might actually be able to tie them into the episode sometimes. But most of the time, no, they're not. They're just...
I don't think that's necessary, Rob. I just like the random non sequiturness of them.
Enjoy. For those of you that have made it thus far, well done. You made it past the first test.
Yeah, if you've been subscribed to this on iTunes for years and not looked at the website, then take a look. Happysalad.net.
Does that text actually propagate to any of the podcast apps?
The problem is it tends to get on default views on a lot of podcatchers.
It would just say more. It would be like 3 words.
Well, yeah, you get. The thing is because of the way I structure them. A lot of them start with just a bunch of nonsense. It doesn't complete the nonsense, so you just get a ... and like the in this episode is then like miles away.
Right, the bit that is important for the
So it's unfortunately podcatchers, their limit seems really, the ones I've looked at, like even Spotify and stuff like that, which we're now available on, is they don't allow very much text at all before they truncate it.
Right. I guess it's a UX thing. They don't want people putting posts in there. I guess although YouTube videos have whole blog posts in their description.
Yeah, they got loads of room. But even YouTube truncates that pretty quickly before the show more.
Yeah, before the show more.
I mean, should there not just be some kind of limit on the RSS feed? Should there not be a data character limit on just how much you can put into an RSS? Even?
No, you can put whatever you want in RSS.
There's no until I don't even know if there's ever been a guideline for people. You'd think because most of the RSS format for podcasts was defined by Apple, right, and iTunes and.
Pretty much.
And it's still today, if you submit to iTunes, most podcatchers will pick up the iTunes feeds.
Format, yeah.
Yeah.
XML, yeah.
So they are kind of the arbiters of all this, but I don't think they've ever defined a recommended content limit there. Not as far as I'm aware. Otherwise, I've been doing it wrong for years, but...
I'm not sure you could maintain randomness for more than a paragraph.
It's quite tough some weeks coming up with something for that.
Well, thank you for your service.
I think it's at the risk of inciting more AI terms, it's more of a vibe than a... I mean, the vibe is a Gen Z thing, and that's been adopted by the AI people. I think it's okay to say vibe. Although vibe always makes me laugh because it's the same slang that the people boomers had in the 60s. I know,
all
right?
about good vibrations and stuff. It's like you literally haven't changed anything.
Yeah, man. Well, they're bringing it back, man.
Yeah.
Except with fewer drugs.
They keep picking,
yeah, a lot less drugs.
they keep picking uncool things to bring back.
What would you bring back?
Tubular. Always tubular.
Totally tubular, yeah. Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah. Oh, just cowabunga in general, or like any of like
cowman.
And yeah, any of like Bart's early phrases, I would take.
In fairness,
Rad and Radical have kind of made a bit of a comeback.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, I end up saying rad nowadays. I don't know why.
Yeah, but that's definitely not an indication of.
No, that's that's infusion of the podcast I listen to, I suppose. Rad.
Yeah, the latest thing I saw in the paper, apparently, which whether that's correct or not, for this, slang terms, I don't know. But Gen Alpha apparently saying "unk,"
Yes,
like uncle for like anyone who's like got older
anyone who's
vibes.
slightly old.
Yeah,
yeah. So like the 15-year-olds,
that was in
the elder brother is unk.
That's all over the bear and stuff as well, right? They because there's that character, they all call him Unk.
That's true. But he literally is an uncle, isn't he? He's related to them, isn't he?
Yeah, I've never really understood the exact family structure in the bear. Like, there are cousins that aren't cousins that are referred to as cousin and stuff like that. It's
like an Italian thing, isn't it? Are they Italian? Oh, God, I don't even know.
Bizarre. Well, I mean, I think there's an Italian heritage there, but it's never explicitly said, right? I finished that, by the way. We got through season 4. Season 4 is definitely better than 3.
It's better than 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ends in a really interesting place, and it's like, isn't it? Is it a little up in the air whether they're doing a 5th? I don't know if they're doing a 5th, but
I don't know. But yeah, that was a cool last episode.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah.
I'm not finished with it. Do you know what I mean? It's like I don't want it to stop there.
I'd be surprised if it ended there. It's a bit of cliffhangery. Yeah. Yeah. I think they'll do one more, maybe.
But yes, it felt better structured. I don't think I've quite got some of the chaos back from season 1. I'm not sure they ever will, but it definitely didn't feel quite so up its own arse as season 3 did. That was very circle jerk. I don't know.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah, didn't feel great. I still think the balls on them to make the first episode like a vocabless montage with ambient music for
like
40
a 40-minute long montage.
I know, it's the absolute bollocks on them to try that like as a season opener. It's wild, but also incredibly infuriating. Like we're like 20 minutes into that, we're like, is this the episode? And the thing is, it's like the music doesn't even really change throughout the duration of it, right? Like they have a fade to black almost moment, and then it comes back as it was. Like what? Yeah. What is happening?
Yeah.
Really
like
strange.
Return of the King. When you think there's 5 different fade outs, and it's like, is it going to end? Much as I love that film, but like I remember being in the cinema, being like, I probably needed the loo by the end of like 3 hours or whatever of Return of the King. Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, what? There's another one?
Yeah. If you like that anxiety stuff from season 1 or whatever, I just went to see. Did you see Uncut Gems?
No.
With Anna and Sandler. That's like concentrated anxiety attack film. It's amazing, but it's like really hard to watch. But yeah, I recommend that. That's very good. But the director, the two of them, the brothers, Josh and Benny Safdie, but they've started doing solo projects or whatever. So Benny Safdie's done lots of good stuff. I think he did that show with Nathan Fielder and Emma Stone, The Curse, and that was really good, really weird. But Josh Safdie, I didn't know what he was doing, and I just watched the new film with Timothée Chalamet, whatever, last night, called Marty Supreme, which is about a table tennis player in the 1950s or something.
Okay.
But that, I hadn't realised going in that's Josh Safdie and therefore the director of Uncut Gems, or part one of the directors of Uncut Gems, and therefore has that style of chaos or anxiety chaos stuff scenes, which seems to be a trend. There's other ones, like I felt that was definitely in the Leonardo DiCaprio one battle after another. I think that's up for Best Picture probably this year.
Right, yeah.
That had aspects of that, especially where DiCaprio's running around and he's on the phone trying to get this. He's in like a rebel group or whatever, but he's been out of it for years, and he's been found. Right. So he's on the run, but he's trying to talk to the rebel group on the phone, but he can't remember the password because he's done too much weed for like 20 years or something, and he can't. And so he's like, yeah, a lot of it is him like running around trying to get through on the phone to this guy and he can't remember the password. So yeah, that style is definitely in vogue. But yeah, I would say Marty Supreme was a good, not quite as hot. It was more, I don't know. It wasn't as kind of creepy and kind of full on as Uncut Gems,
right? Yeah,
but there's definitely an aspect to that in The Bear season 1.
Yeah,
sure.
It's interesting, because I think there must be a subtlety to it that I haven't quite grokked. In that
how to do it right,
yeah, because it doesn't wind me up. It doesn't annoy me in the way.
I think some people it certainly does.
Yeah, but there's definitely program. Like, I'm not a fan of cringe particularly, because it really does just get to me. Or I've always referred to them as frustration comedies, where it's like the core of the comedy is pissing off the main character in some ways, or things being out of control and they have no impetus on the situation. I don't know. There's a certain way of doing that, and so it could very easily, I think, cross the line into those. And like, I'm getting wound up by this, and I don't want that. Yeah. I don't want to be wound up with it. I want to be in it, and I want to feel the intensity, but I don't want to be annoyed by it. That very much is not my bag. But somehow, the way The Bear does it just never pushes that button for me at all. I'm in it, but I'm like, I'm in it. Rather than, it's like, I want to see how this goes. I'm probably who's that guy who turns up at the dinner scene? The guy they describe in season 4 is like, we don't know who he is, but he's just always there.
In The Bear. In
The Bear, yeah. Donna's friend, quote unquote.
Oh, yeah.
I forget the actor's name. Anyway, but yeah, I feel like I'm him in those really intense motions. You know what I mean? Like, not caring, but just there, just along for the ride. That's a good place to be, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Do you mean like, is it John Mulaney, the actor, or the?
Because he doesn't ring a bell. That's probably not who I'm thinking of, but I mean, there's definitely one guy in the wedding scene who just says that outright, right? He's not really part of the family, but he's included and he just loves it.
Yeah.
That might be who you're thinking of.
He was a writer on Saturday Night Live. He used to write for Bill Hader.
Right. Well, he looks a little bit like Bill Hader.
Right.
That's, again, not the actor I was thinking of, but I can see why you would go that way.
Yeah. Oh, did you see another one that's like that? And on that trend is Anora, which was last year. I think won Best Picture last year. Did you see that?
No.
That was also good, and that turns into a kind of screwball farce and anxiety comedy thing where everything's going horribly wrong all the time and everyone's shouting at each other. But that was also definitely, I think, part of that trend. So that was quite good. Yeah, I'm all for it. It's just,
I wonder how long until it becomes. In a weird way, I'm not sure it's mainstream enough to like.
No,
it's definitely a trend, but like, I don't think if it's hit that critical mass to be too annoying. Like when it starts becoming, okay, we've done this, move on. Like, we're not there.
Yeah. It's getting there, I think, now. Now that I've seen Marty Supreme, I'm like, okay, this is definitely been a trend for a while.
Still be at least like 3 more years until it goes away, just like video games. Where
you're going to milk it. You're going to milk it to the last drop.
The same genre, even when everyone says they've had enough of that.
Never stop while the going's good. Always keep trying to wring money out of people.
That game hasn't come out yet, right?
You thinking of Marathon?
No.
Like the extraction shooter trend, right?
No, I'm thinking of the not Titanfall that's about to come out.
The not. Oh no, the I've forgotten what that's even called.
Yep,
The,
real impressions there.
But the you mean the non-respawn, the X-respawn fantasy hero shooter thing? Yeah, I cannot remember what that thing's called.
Pretty sure that's not out yet.
No, it's not out yet.
But it's in January, right? They said.
Yeah, I think so, for an early access ish kind of thing. But it's going to be free to play, so that doesn't mean anything.
Sure. We'll see how that goes for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is so risky for you to be in the multiplayer space these days. Like, there's just no room for anyone. Like, Arc Raiders and Helldivers 2 were probably the two most recent lucky ones, right?
And Helldivers
broke through
kind of because of PlayStation, I guess.
Yeah.
They weren't quite so saturated on PlayStation as everywhere else was.
Sure. Which, okay, if that was true, that is almost certainly what you could argue is part of Concord's downfall, right? Because then Sony were in on something.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, no, we don't need another Sony thing. We've got Concord. No, other way around. We've got Helldivers. And Arc Raiders is, to me, feels sort of like it's in a very similar space as Helldivers, but is somehow doing okay.
I don't know how well Arc Raiders is going to last. It felt like it dropped off really quickly, but like it hasn't actually dropped off. It just felt like it dropped off. Whereas I still hear about Helldivers all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of just because of my YouTube, I suppose, but I kind of get cross-contamination with Helldivers just from like DRG and stuff on my YouTube, obviously.
I went back on my notes. It's called High Guard, the thing we were thinking of.
Oh, what, the thing from the end of the Game Awards?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll see.
Yeah, people seem to like Arc Raiders, don't they?
Yeah, it's hit it off.
It's quite popular.
It's done well. But that's what I mean. It's such a risk. Like, you got other things like Splitgate, right? When that first came out, the first version of that was super popular. Splitgate 2 happens, next to no impact at all. To the point where there was actually an article the other day about it on Kotaku, that like they're struggling to hit 1,000 players online at a time, which is pretty damning, I suppose, for an online shooter. But so many just come and go. Do you remember even when Cliffy B tried it with, was it Lawbreakers? It's like he couldn't do it. That
one definitely didn't have much effort on it, but it seems...
Well, Lawbreakers was all right, actually, but it was like it had the problem that it was already trying to be a retro throwback, almost, like, you know, because it was Cliffy B. He wanted to bring back a bit of that old UT spirit.
Rather than the Unreal Tournament, which then also didn't happen.
Which also didn't happen, yeah. And will we ever see... I've forgotten what the Valve one is called, that apparently still exists, and is still in the works.
Yes.
Dead Point? Oh, I can't even remember. Anyway, good luck, Marathon. Although I saw a positive article about Marathon recently. There's a chance it might survive.
I mean, they're only getting positive articles now because it's like they're taking the time to attempt to fix the fucked up thing they first released.
Yeah.
Except that might not still solve the problem of the genre.
No. I mean, for me, I don't know. Extraction shooters just don't appeal to me. I don't really want to do that. I mean, maybe it'll be different when I actually play. I can't say I've really played one particularly.
I mean, extraction shooters are just battle royales with one extra step, really.
Kinda, yeah.
It's basically the same arrangement.
Sort of, yeah. They're more of a fluid arrangement, aren't they? There's no real
until the end,
state.
where you all have to come to one place and then you fight. That's basically the same as a battle royale.
I always thought they weren't, like, the world was, like, people were dropping in and out all the time, like it was a more constant thing rather than everyone drops in and then there's an extraction.
Well, I thought it was maybe, but there's still going to be an extraction point that there's going to be fights at, basically.
Yes, definitely. But I thought I was, like, if it's anything like The Division, which I guess came up with this, right?
Well, sort of.
Yeah, you had to go to those extraction points, and then the summoning would, like, obviously notify everyone in the area that there's an extraction happening. The summoning, you know, calling in a helicopter, right? Everyone would be aware that was happening, and thus would draw fights. What's that even called? The Red Zone, something like that. The Division. Anyway, I give Division props for doing it well early.
Well, was it well or was it just early? Like, were they just like the first ones to do it and therefore are the like standard to compare everything to?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm sure they weren't literally the first ones.
Oh, probably not. In the same way that Dota wasn't the first MOBA.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, Future Cop.
Oh yeah, we need to do a video on LAPD.
Yeah, I'll be up for just straight up playing that again. Like I've got it running now on my PC now, so it's yeah, we can do that.
Sweet. Yeah, this is a podcast about video games.
And news.
And news.
And news about video games.
So here's a bit of throwback news that's coming suddenly turned up. Mewgenics. I don't know if that rings any bells for you guys, but this was Mewgenics, yeah. So
like
this
Mew, like the Pokemon.
Might as well be, kind of.
This has been knocking around for an incredibly long time because it was supposed to be the follow-up to Super Meat Boy from Team Meat back in the day.
Kind of, although it's more like Isaac, obviously.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, I suppose it's probably more the follow-up to Isaac, I guess, indirectly. But anyway, Edmund...
They're making Super Meat Boy 3D, right?
That came out, I think, yeah.
And everyone hated it for several reasons.
Really? Oh, I saw some good stuff, good reviews. I didn't realise it was hated.
Well, I mean, it's just nothing like the original game, really.
Okay.
Yeah, so Edmund McMillan, formerly of Team Meat, I guess, that he's been working on this on and off since 2012, I think, like an incredibly long time. I think it entered some level of development hell and some level of ownership hell at one point, which slowed everything down. But anyway, that game's coming out, like, properly, and it's coming out February 10th. It's kind of it's one half a strategy game and another half a breeding game where you breed cats together to get traits and mutations and weird and wonderful effects for your cat army for the strategy phase. Yeah, it looks kind of messed up, but it looks kind of cool. Anyway, it's good to see. Good to see that that's finally happening.
For sure.
In other good news stories, one that's probably on Zach's radar for sure, Hytale, a Minecraft-like developed by Minecraft modders, is doing gangbusters, basically. It's taking over.
Well, only because that was the whole thing that I'm sure I talked about it when they, the publisher screwed it and then it got shut down and then they lost the rights to Hytale because the publisher kept the rights but the developers went out and then half the developers joined together to form a sort of sub-team on the Vintage Story engine and they were going to make a version of Hytale inside the Vintage Story engine.
Oh, huh.
Which I'm not even sure what's going on with that any longer because now obviously your actual Hytale's back again.
Yeah, okay, that's super weird, okay.
But yeah, and then the original creator, I guess, of Hytale basically seems like just bought the brand back off the publisher, and so he has it again, and then they finally released... Because it had been in development hell for, like, a goddamn age, like 8 years or something, until, like, the end of last year, where there was this sudden flurry of activity to do with it being shut down.
Right.
But then apparently this is just like, if he got the rights back and it was like, fucking get this damn thing out. And then they have in an alpha.
Interesting. So, I mean, what does that mean? Did the Splinter Group come back?
I have no idea. I haven't seen any news posts on like the Vintage Story website about that project.
Interesting.
So I don't actually know how that one went down.
But they just call it V-Tail now or something.
I mean, that might well have been what it was going to be called inside the Vintage Story engine. But yeah, Hytale everyone was always super excited about it at the start, but then like 8 years of not anything actually fucking coming out kind of dulled everyone's enthusiasm.
Well,
but now it's back.
It seems like the enthusiasm is there because it's hit 2.8 million concurrent players on Steam, which is a pretty big number for a well, you could argue, a relatively small indie project.
Well, maybe not that small though, considering it lasted 8 years and had an actual publisher funding it and everything. Wow. Depending on how much of that they got to keep, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I might end up being dragged into a multiplayer game of that at some point.
I bet we'll hear that in pretty substantial detail. Forza Horizon 6. A launch date has kind of been heavily suggested that it will be springtime, which I don't think is surprising particularly. And it's almost certainly going to turn up in the Xbox Dev Direct that is happening on January 22nd. For those that don't watch those kind of things, this will be like the fourth or fifth one of these that Xbox has done. They always do them this time of year, where they sort of zero in on like 4 or 5 games and supposedly have a straight from the developer's mouth presentation about those games, but they never quite. They're like those like. They're always so heavily scripted and so heavily things. It's not quite what you want from those. They're not like straight from the developer's mouth at all. It's like, no, we just meant we could shoot more B-roll at their offices while the script is read by maybe members of the staff. Like, it doesn't actually often justify the length of them, I don't think. But some cool stuff has turned up there. Hello, Hi-Fi Rush Shadow Drop. Turned up in one of these, I think.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And heck, I am interested to see what Forza Horizon 6 does with the Japanese setting. I want fewer fields and more actual roads to carefully weave around.
I'm kind of interested in this for some reason. I just hope, it's the same every time. Just pray that they tone down the radio. Like,
oh, right.
You're the best, you're amazing, shit, or whatever it is.
Here's hoping, because it is terrible.
Or just some way to turn that shit off.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just turn it off and just use your, console's built-in Spotify player or whatever, I don't know.
Sure, but I don't think that would get you through all the voiceover garbage. That's
all the cutscenes.
Yeah. I mean, that has always been one of, like, even just the restart problem on some challenges in Forza. It's like, do you really want to go back to a mission? Because most of the time they have an unskippable, like, intro to them, which takes ages. And you're like, no, I just want to do the challenge. Like, so you never go back to it. Yeah. For the this is not so much for the actual events, but like the actual sort of race events that you go, but for the mission-y type things, like the I don't know, like sometimes when you're doing like little stunt challenges or drift challenges or things like that, there's normally an intro where you get a slow pan around the car you're about to drive or something while someone talks bollocks at you, and it's like, and those tend to be completely unskippable, and it's like I
oh my god,
yeah, they're really annoying. Like they're kind of fine the first time, right, when you start up the event, and like, but like if you ever come back to those at a later date and think I want to do that again, it's like, I don't want to go through that. And the fact that on a lot of those, there's a voiceover during the mission as well of people talking to you, and there's absolutely no way of turning that off unless you turn the volume of all speech down. Right? It's
this is all I want. Just
I know
bullshit.
The design, it's a real problem for Horizon. Like, it's been dragging it down since 3.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just got worse over time.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. Allow me to skip it. Give me more of the soulless vibe. I don't know.
Well, just driving in the beautiful setting.
Exactly. Let me take
enough. Yeah. Anyway, that's my hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can get past the bullshit, then I'll drive all over freaking Japan in whatever cool cars.
Yeah, it's bad, but it's never been enough to put me off those games. Like I didn't. But I nearly went back to Forza Horizon 4 this week because I just fancied it. Mainly because I still haven't really played through that Lego expansion pack that I've got for it, which sounds pretty cool, but I haven't really dug into. Anyway, yeah, that's happening. Anthem is dead, by the way. That thing got turned off.
Took long enough.
Yeah. But
I guess the economics of these things, you can't keep them running forever if no one wants to play them.
No, but this has led to this is one of those classic conversations of like game preservation and games shouldn't die. Like Anthem's a really good example of this, of a game that perhaps didn't need its always online component, right? Like to the point where an ex-BioWare developer, Mark Darrah, has basically he's put a video up that's basically just describes what the situation of Anthem is right now, and it's like the hooks were there, is what he says. It's like the architecture of the game and the design of the game meant they did put hooks in for the potential for it to be an offline game. It's just that EA never let them finish that part of it. So, like, what could have been an offlineable game never was, just because EA didn't. Yeah, just because EA stopped it, like, which is a bummer, because it means, like, yeah, from a preservationist perspective, it's like, what do you do now? Like, someone's gonna have to come up with a fake server to let you run these things. Like, Anthem just feels like one of those projects that had. I think Anthem actually, as an idea, as a concept, had an absolute boatload of potential.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I think it looked really interesting from its reveal trailer. And I think I said that on record on this podcast, that it's like, this actually looks pretty cool. But it then just got, EA managemented to all hell. Like, it had to be an online, it had to be a game as a service in some way. And it had to be co-op. And it had to, and it just somewhat fell apart from those design decisions. It's like, at that point in time, I don't think the doubt about BioWare had really set in yet. Like, did it come out after Andromeda? Andromeda? I think it might have been after Andromeda,
yeah,
right?
I think
it was after, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe some doubts. Okay, let me rephrase that. Maybe some doubts about BioWare. This current state must have been kicking in, but then, like,
wasn't that after we'd already heard that BioWare was basically collapsing? Like, wasn't Anthem just like the last? We thought that was going to be the last game BioWare was ever going to make because they were pretty much done, and EA was clearly going to shut them down.
I don't really remember that particularly, but I remember that conversation happening like after Anthem for sure, because it's just like, okay, now they've had two duds.
Now EA is really going to go.
Somehow they're still alive.
Well, sort of, but not really.
Well, yeah, whether it's a completely different thing now, I guess. But they seem it. On brand alone, they might have saved themselves with Veilguard to an extent, because it wasn't a big game, but like it was an acceptable game as opposed to how Anthem and Andromeda were received. But yeah. What a bummer. It could have been so good. Could have been so good, but unfortunately was not. There's still a bit of me that's like, what if? Like, I know that Sega have made like somewhat crappy Iron Man games in the past, but it's like, I don't know. No one's really. It doesn't feel like there's been anything that has done the Iron Man concept right yet. Like, unless you want to include like mech combat games to an extent, like they might be the closest. Untapped potential. Larry Herb, more commonly known as Major Nelson, has been sacked from Unity after he left Xbox to join them at 2024. We don't know much more than that, but
Fact.
Yeah, like laid off. Like there's no indication that it was a what do you call it, an antagonistic departure, but it's been worded in the sense that by Major Nelson that he was laid off, not that he decided to leave, if that makes sense. But this just raises fears of potentially another. We don't know if this is part of another wave of job cuts at Unity beginning. Their last big round was 2024. Maybe a pay for Major Nelson, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, it's so maybe more bad times for Unity ahead. In fairness, they haven't done themselves any favors in recent years, so maybe it's the end. Maybe. Anyway, bit of conjecture. And coming back to that AI thing we started the podcast with, someone may be admitting that AI sucks.
Wow, someone admits it.
Yeah.
Who could it be?
Kevin Terwilliger from Dell, who is their head of product, has basically
like fucking Sideshow Bob.
Kevin Terwilliger. Yeah, he's come out and said that consumers just aren't buying products based on anything to do with AI. And he actually says, quote, "In fact, I think AI probably confuses them more than it helps them." And it's like, well, yeah, fair. Like I don't know that people really understand the benefits of AI. If they do, they probably understand that it scares them as much as it benefits them. Yeah. So yeah, that's Dell saying that trying to sell stuff based on AI probably isn't doing them any favors.
I mean, what physical products are you? I don't know. I guess robots and stuff eventually, but right now it's like the best thing AI does is you type into a chat box. It's just like Google, isn't it? You type into a box and then you get a response.
Yeah.
Like, what hardware do you need for that? You already got the perfect hardware. You got a fucking phone.
The thing is I think that's a Windows and Microsoft pushed initiative, right? Because they want the sticker on a laptop that says this has got Copilot
powered by AI or something.
Yeah.
I guess there is the argument of like, you know, it's difficult because it's like, I get it would be nice from a privacy kind of point of view if you could run models locally, right? And
sure, and maybe we'll get to that point eventually, but
yeah.
But
saying your
then you have an
hardware
update
can
problem,
do it.
right?
Yeah,
keeping
exactly.
the models up to date.
Well, exactly, and also like the models are getting better and better, but they presumably, I think they take more and more. Although obviously the smaller models are getting better too, but generally you want a big model and it takes a lot of energy, and that's why you need fucking nuclear power plants and stuff.
It takes a lot of energy,
like,
and as is becoming an increasing problem for any kind of computing, a whole shit ton of memory.
Yeah, which you can't put on your local device. You put it in the cloud, and then the business model of like OpenAI and stuff is you come to us and make requests and we do it on our cloud and you pay for that or whatever ultimately, although currently not horrifically subsidized by the investment, but they're betting on it being so indispensable that you need to make requests to their servers. But if you ultimately could make, let's say Apple put enough AI tuned hardware into their devices or whatever that you can make reasonably good requests totally locally, then that undermines the business model of OpenAI and Anthropic and stuff, right?
Right, yeah.
But the thing is that it seems with the current trend that it's always worth it to use the cloud model because they always get so much better and because they use so much memory and power, right?
Well, yeah. And
also because they're so horrifically subsidized, right, by this giant bubble that like currently you get absurd value from these things.
I mean, even if you're not paying a penny, right, you can use Gemini as much as you want for free. You just
rock up and it's subsidized by Google, but more likely it's subsidized by the stock market, basically.
Sure. And people, Google are just implementing it into new things. My phone this morning, in fact, just turned around and said, by the way, like Google Gemini can now do all this stuff on your phone if you want it. Just as an update.
Did you see?
It's like, okay, fine.
Did you see the news that Apple have, they've been trying and they've just basically given up and they've just done a deal with Google to have Gemini power Siri.
Right.
Yeah, they've done that, which makes so much sense.
Sure.
Because what you get on your phone equivalent will be on the iPhone just through the same. And then it's monopolies again.
In fairness, that was bound to happen at some point, right? We were going to get there's so many models and so many things. You were going to get that sort of shrinking at some point, like as the winners start coming out. You know what I mean?
I would have thought so. Yeah.
But it's good, right? We're I don't want to say AI is good in general, but it's good we're still in that competitive phase where there are a lot of models. We're not at Chromium based just yet.
Right, where everyone uses the same stuff.
Yeah.
I do think Google has they kind of got caught out by OpenAI. I think they were probably like a year behind when ChatGPT came out.
Perhaps, yeah.
Which are stuff that's been in development for like 20 years we're talking about, but yeah, they have so much resources, and Microsoft, I suppose, that like it's going to be interesting to see what happens to OpenAI because the numbers are so insane, with the investment and how much they're worth.
It's heavily Microsoft backed now, isn't it? OpenAI.
So. Well, it's like I don't know, it's like 20% or something, isn't it? It's not
pretty heavily.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. I don't know. It's weird. The whole I don't know. I just
don't see
I just flip between like Gemini and Claude, and like I don't want to like. I think a lot of people just heavily use ChatGPT as like their default or whatever.
Right, yeah.
I just don't want to really do that. But I'm sure they're all as bad as each other.
I mean, I have a weird take from the development side of things in that I have now got a GitHub Copilot license through work.
Good.
For trying things. So far, I'm not super impressed by it. Like whenever
what model are you using?
Oh God, I don't know. It's probably one of the GPTs.
Because you got a little drop down. Try GPT 5.2, the new one.
Yeah, I think actually our license only lists 2 of them for some reason.
Yeah.
Like,
so I have I've got Copilot from my company, and Copilot. I think weirdly, because it started as a GitHub thing, which is of course owned by Microsoft, the like controls for the Copilot are in the GitHub, even though you use it in like your editor, which is the Microsoft editor or whatever, like VS Code or Visual Studio. So for some reason you have to go into the So I kept having to badger, as it were, my company GitHub admin because every time a new model comes out, you have to enable it in the GitHub settings. So that's the thing. So eventually, I've just got made. Now I'm just the admin of my company GitHub. So now every time there's a new model, I go in there and enable it, and then you get a giant list in the drop down if you enable all the models. But it's really quick. Like when GPT 5.2 was announced, it's like I just went on there straight away and just turned it on, so you can just have a giant list of them if you want.
Interesting. And does that change your pricing model? I mean, just curiosity.
It went in the drop down. They have like it's like like the big models are like 3x, or there's like 1x, 2x, 3x or something, which is like how much of your token or whatever, how much of your credit you're using. So if you use the big models, you consume 3 times the credit or whatever.
I see.
But I don't worry about that because I'm not paying for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Depends on what plan I suppose the company's on. I don't know what plan I was on. It's just my login started working at some point, and it's like, oh, okay. I guess I have.
There's also a mode which I haven't really tried where it's got, because it's hard to keep up with this crap. So there's now you can say just pick them and try and pick the right model for me.
Oh, interesting.
Which I haven't really played with, but that might be quite good.
Yeah. To be fair, I have had less good results with what I think is presumably a GPT model compared to just asking whatever model, and I don't know what it is because I don't think it exposes it, desktop Copilot users. So if you fire up the Copilot app on Windows, and then that's what I'm using to ask, I find the results from that weirdly to be better. Like subtly. It's not a big difference, but it tends to be right more of the time. I think the stuff I'm asking AI is usually the stuff I that isn't easy, right? I'm not asking it basic questions. I'm asking it, relatively basic questions. Like I don't know, I work with Wix installer for a few things, and it's just like, okay, I'm trying to do this, but this isn't working. What does this element mean? Blah 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 blah. And I've had it for some reason GitHub Copilot was just led me right up the garden path. It gave me such a complete nonsense route, and that I then followed for an afternoon trying to figure out. And it's like,
it can really waste your time if you're not careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Only to eventually find out, no, this doesn't work and this isn't right. And it goes, oh yeah, you're absolutely right to pick that out. And it's like, for the love, what?
Yeah, it's so annoying.
But you repeatedly gave me the advice to follow this path, like over and over again. Even when I sort of said, like, no, this isn't working, but I think, what do you suggest? And it would go, no, you do need to go check this. And then eventually I go, no, yeah, but that's wrong. And it goes, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're absolutely right, Rob. Well done. Except the GitHub Copilot isn't quite so. What's the word?
Conciliatory or kind of gracious, it's, maybe.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Like Windows Copilot is very much like, you're the man.
Like, right? Yeah. What do they call it?
Ass kissing. I don't know.
Yeah, ass kissing. Yeah, there's a word for it. That's
it's not quite so like that, but it does seem very slightly more correct more of the time. But obviously, then it doesn't have access to my code or anything like that, so it can't see. I have to tell it and explain to it what my problem is. But maybe that's actually yes. Yeah. But maybe that's actually beneficial. Maybe not giving it the information is helping for some reason. Anyway,
right? You have to control the context. That's always the trick, and it's quite hard to do.
I found that with Gemini. Like in Gemini, I often I'm almost always creating new threads on it rather than allowing the context to continue. because Gemini really does get stuck on the first thing you ask it. Especially the image generator. If you use Nano Banana and tried to make an image, and then you go, that's not right, can you change it like this? It just most of the time it just gives you the same image, like without any changes at all. It just goes, let me sort that out for you, and it just spits out the same thing. You're like, no, that's the same image. And it goes, okay, let me have another go, and it will have another go, and it will change like a tiny detail of the picture, and you've asked it to like recompose where things are and stuff like this. Like, no, you haven't quite got that right, please swap these things around. And it just gives you the same damn composition. You're like, all right, it's easier if I just start from fresh and write my original prompt better, and then you get what you want.
Knowing when to like start fresh is like one of the key skills with it. It's just like, and
for the record,
it has a bias for like the first thing you tell it and then the last thing you told it, but sometimes it almost feels like it's forgotten the stuff in the middle, even though it's still in the context.
Yeah, I have found Windows Copilot to be better at that stuff. Like, so if I do then like ask it a question that's different, it will try and tie it back to some of the stuff I've been talking about earlier. Like, it will be in the middle of an explanation for something, and it will be like, but given you're looking at this kind of stuff, it will have a statement a bit like that. Given you're already in this area, it's like you probably want to do this. Which is sometimes really good. A lot of that time, it's just like, I guess the other problem with like AI responses is there seems to be like a length that they like to be, like an A4 sheet of paper long. Seems to be, and like something it then you can just like pads the rest out, and
you can put in the instructions. I mean, like you can ask it, you can put it in, you can have a thing that it always includes in the context, and you can put in there, be more concise. And that literally helps. Stuff like that.
Maybe I should try that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's instruction. I mean, it's getting really complicated now because, well, you start off with instructions, which is literally just a markdown file where you tell it and it includes it every time in the context. Right. And that's a good starting point. But now it's getting like people put whole essays in there or whatever and a million things about their coding, whatever standards and all this stuff. And then it starts to bloat the context. So now there are all these other things, like you can create custom agents, which are like special ones for different tasks. And now there's these are the ones skills.
These are the ones that always get marketed in the most vague terms, right? Like the ones where
NCP servers.
Those are the ones where you, like, if you're watching an ad about AI, it's like, what are you doing? Like, not a lot. My agents are doing my work for me. It's like, what do you mean you don't have agents? It's like, I don't bloody well know what they were even talking about half the time. It's like,
it's just too much time. It needs to settle down, basically. I think anyway, but definitely try the instructions because that's just one file that it'll read. I think there's been multiple standards for like what the name of the file is. I think in Copilot it's called instructions, but like I think there's a standard now where it's called agents.md. Because the Claude one was like Claude.md or something, and it's like, no, have a standard, please.
Weird. I wonder why they called it agents, because to me, agents has a meaning, right, based on GitHub Copilot, like because they describe agents as things that are capable of actually making edits, like actually changing your code and actually having access to your files.
I know.
It's like, so why call it agents? Like, it's not
the terminology is like all screwed up. Anyway, but AI, that's AI.
We're done with that.
We're done with AI.
For the record, I am not using it. I'm still not using it for commercial purposes. My image generation is for fun times only. I will not put it in a texture pack for any purpose.
What do you put puffins in things?
Puffins.
Puffins.
Constant puffins.
Nothing but puffins.
Puffins swimming in a pool of pizza, please.
Oh, God. Well, I haven't seen AI mean, like, 10xing people's productivity to the point where they can put out put out a computer game. Like, you still need to be insane to be able to make Stardew Valley. It's not going to help if you have an AI.
You still get those even to like industry veterans, some turning around occasionally and writing articles to be like, I'm so much more productive now. I just ask my AI to do it for me. Blah 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 blah. It's like, oh man, okay, man, yeah, sure. Whatever you say. So far, nothing I have tried has been like that at all with AI. It's always been, yeah, okay, you gave it a go, but that's awful, so I'm going to do it. Like every time, it's been that for me so far.
I definitely have had times lucky days where I've actually made a feature and I haven't actually written any code by hand. I've definitely deleted stuff that it's written and edited stuff slightly, but I never wrote a single line, and I managed to get it to make a feature.
Yeah, maybe I'm just not in like webland or something. Maybe that's part of it, because obviously webs and apps and that kind of stuff is probably where the vast majority of training data can come from, because it's
I guess
the bigger slice of the development pie these days.
Yeah.
So yeah,
especially open source.
So me writing my niche Windows app, I suppose, is it struggles. It really struggles.
Yeah.
Which is good for me.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah. But do you think that's because most of the Windows app code out there is closed and not open source?
Potentially, yeah. Or garbage. One of the two.
Or garbage, yeah. It's all garbage and we're just copying the garbage.
Yeah. Hey, anyway, that's news. I haven't got much else going on. It's still relatively quiet season.
The update.
Cool.
This new season for Derg still isn't out, but it's coming.
It's coming.
And then Rob won't be here when it comes out, probably. I think
you think it's going to come out while I'm out on holiday?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Right, literally in the next week.
Yeah, I think it's the 20-something. I saw the trailer.
I'm really going to have to figure out how I can put Milesy to bed earlier so I can actually play some games again.
Nice.
Well, hopefully that will start to solve itself as a problem in the next year or two.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, it's been both an easier and harder few weeks with him. He's like, we need to. If he doesn't nap, sometimes you can get an earlier night, but otherwise it's midnight. Like he'll want you to be involved with his going to sleep pattern for like hours. And now it's like to the point where both me and Gnome have to be involved, because he wants me to read a story first and then Gnome to read it later. But he doesn't want to cuddle me to go to sleep. He wants to cuddle Gnome to go to bed. And it's just, it's hard work, man. I know. It's like, this is just, and in a way, this is me just being introduced to it. It's like I know it's been hard work for Gnome for nearly 3 years now. So it's like, I know I've had it easier, for sure. But it is really cute.
Yeah, that definitely makes up for it.
And he's memorized. He likes 2 books in particular at the moment, and he's starting to memorize them, which is kind of funny. Like
Hamster Huey and the Gooey Kablooey.
No, it's the Bluey book about, which is basically just a retelling of the Fruit Bat episode. He likes that one, and also Runaway Pea. He loves that.
Runaway Pea.
Runaway Pea. Look out! It's a runaway pea. There's a page where the pea's bum is on fire, and we just sort of put our finger on it and go, "Ooh, hot!" And he loves that. It makes him cackle.
Nice.
He's got a proper evil laugh. Like, ha 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 ha!
The best kind.
He's great.
Well, Zach, have you had time to play games?
Only like one game, as it turns out.
What have you been playing?
Apart from Rocket League, obviously. But
Rocket League, yeah, the default.
Yes. Just continue to play a shit ton of Minecraft in single and multiplayer still. The multiplayer
Going back to the source, not on your vintage story Hightails.
No.
Whatever.
There was a moment where I thought this week we were going to move to Hightail as soon as it came out, but apparently not quite. Like, I thought, since we were already playing Minecraft, it was like, this is just an easy transition, right? It's like, as Hightail's going to come out, everyone's going to buy that, and then we're just going to move over there and forget everything we just did in Minecraft.
Right.
But no, apparently Minecraft is going to continue to survive. Although I'm starting to feel kind of like it might not survive for me, because we've reached a weird intersection in the multiplayer progress of this mod pack where it doesn't parallelize very well, because sometimes it will have like 2 mods that are, because of the way you move in and out of mods, you go into a mod and then you progress through that mod to a point and then that starts the next mod, basically. It sometimes has it arranged where there's sort of like 2 parallel paths that you're doing at the same time, which is helpful for us in the multiplayer, because it's like one person can do one of them and the other person can do the other one.
Right.
But then when it gets to the times where there isn't that, and it's only, there's like one mod is the only path forward, it's like, well, what is the other person going to do this whole time? Just sort of stand around. Really, that's the problem I've been having.
So there's no way to like co-op those?
I mean, you can, but like the trouble is that because we're essentially trying to critical path all this stuff as well, it's like you're making a thing, and then when you get that thing, you're making the next thing. So you can't really like even parallelize that within the context of one mod.
So there isn't necessarily a path or something the other player could be doing just to be like, well, you focus on the new stuff. I'll just make something pretty out of the last phase.
Well, I mean, not really, because like once you, as I said before, it's like once you finish with one of these mods, you kind of are just done with it. Like there's very little reason to go back, or like sometimes if you do need a lot of that one item from the end of the previous mod, you might need to like slightly improve the, production of that one thing or whatever.
Is that just because it's superseded through power creep, you mean?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the things that I've been doing when I've not been working like independently on a mod, I've kind of run out of ideas, because I did like the mob grinder, which turned out to be completely irrelevant because we just didn't need it. But I was like, oh well, this is a thing I can do independently while we're waiting for the next mod path to branch out. So I made it. It's like, well, there's functions and it will make infinite mob drops and experience, but we don't really need that. like the mob drops are basically irrelevant. We haven't ever needed to harvest them in that bulk quantities, and experience is always irrelevant because we're both like massively over leveled and barely using any experience for any of the enchanting, because that was the other thing that I did, like that was sort of, it weirdly spliced together like several different mods, but it wasn't like on the main progress path. But I was like, it turns out with this mod pack, you can really super exploit the like enchanting and experience system in a kind of ridiculous way, where like you can get the ability to strip enchantments off items and then basically store them, and then the default way enchantments work in Minecraft is like if you have two items that have the same enchantment, you can combine them together and like get the next level of that enchantment. So you can do that, but then because you can store the enchantments as well, you can then in a separate mod, you can then basically take the enchantment at whatever level you've got, duplicate it onto another item, and therefore level it up, and then you can just do that forever, basically. You can basically use this combination of mods to level up enchantments infinitely to whatever level you want, almost for free, because it uses it. Part of it is like you have a like an experience store that you drain experience out of you into this storage, and then it uses that experience to like make the new enchantments on the items. But the ratio is like basically nothing. It's not very well balanced. But that might just be because of the combination of mods that it unbalances it in that way. But yeah, I built this whole system where it's like, yeah, we can basically just get whatever enchantment we want at whatever level we want. Which has basically also just made us virtually invulnerable at this point. Right. Like, it was already kind of ridiculous with that, with like them eating the food to gain the extra health points.
So what are enchantments in Minecraft? What are they literally like adding abilities to your gear?
Armor and weapons, yeah. I mean, the default Minecraft ones are like, kind of simple. It's just like, it makes your armor better and makes your weapons better. And like, there's a couple of slightly more like utility ones. I mean, the one that everyone always wants is the one which makes it so that your armor and weapons just repair themselves using experience. So as you're fighting enemies and the experience drops out of them, instead of going into your experience pool, it just gets absorbed into your weapons and armor and it just repairs them.
Okay.
So your weapons and armor become infinitely durable, basically.
That's kind of neat. And presumably the excess still is kept.
It goes into your normal XP pool. So like, once you get that on all your weapons and armor, it's like, well, this armor is never going to break any longer. So now you can make, that's when you commit to like putting all the other enchantments on, because then you're not wasting those enchantments if that armor breaks in the future.
Short of you finding better armor, but...
Yeah, but then because of these mods, we now have the ability where you can just take the armor that you have all your enchantments on and strip it off into a book, and then use that book to put it back onto the new piece of armor.
Oh, okay.
So it's like we can have whatever we want, at whatever enchantment level we want.
And just move it about.
And move it pretty much easily. And yeah, that has just made us basically completely invulnerable. At this point, I actually don't even have to fight enemies. Partially because of also there's some like bonuses I have from the passive skill tree where it's just like 25% of enemy attacks I just evade, and then like 25% of enemy attacks get auto blocked by my shield because of that part of the skill tree, and then like 25% of the attacks that do actually hit me just reflect the damage onto the enemy anyway.
Right.
So it's just like I just stand there and the enemies just die. I don't even have to actually attack them.
You've turned it into Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, kind of.
Just walk through the fields of death and...
Yeah. But yes, that's definitely kind of ridiculous that we've definitely reached the point where fighting enemies is completely irrelevant. Apart from, I guess, bosses. There's still a few of them in some of these mods.
I was going to say, is that also true of, like, the Nether and things like that?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean... this mod pack doesn't really add very many like new types of enemies, unlike the one I'm playing in single player, which adds a lot more and a lot harder enemies, which makes the Nether an absolute goddamn nightmare to deal with in that mod pack. But yeah, it's like there's a lot of different enemies, but they're not really substantially harder than normal enemies, and they don't do anything particularly unusual. Because in the single player mod pack that I'm playing, you get the enemies of basically been turned extra trolly in very annoying ways. It's like if you thought creepers were annoying, how about a creeper that can teleport?
Right.
or a creeper that explodes into water instead of an explosion, which is very annoying to clean up afterwards. Because then you've just got this big lump of water that you have to like place blocks on to delete all the water source blocks.
Yeah.
Very annoying. And also in that mod pack, all the enemies are just harder as well, and they can spawn with like, they're sort of like boss versions of the enemies that have like, they have a health bar, and then the health bar has like a bunch of words along the bottom that describe all the buffs that they have essentially. Where it's like, oh, this enemy is just regenerating, or this enemy is, you know, teleporting or stealthy, so it goes invisible sometimes, or it's fast, and it's like these are really annoying. Right, and I did come across one enemy in the Nether that was just, I can't remember the exact word it was, but it was basically invincible almost. Like
that's a funny modifier, just invincible.
Yeah, I mean, because when you're going through the quest chain in this thing, it like warns you about it, where it's like, oh, if you go to the Nether and you find that your weapons aren't doing any damage to this enemy, then you probably need to not fight it and find a different way to fight it. But I don't think this was one of those enemies. I think this is a different modifier where it just, like, has super regeneration. Because it's like, I was hitting it and it was doing damage, but then it was just refilling its health bar immediately. It's like, maybe you just need to poison it or something to cancel out cancel out the regeneration or something like that. But I didn't really have time to do experiments as it was trying to kill me.
Sure.
And it was one of the stupid the floating ghast things in the Nether that is just like they shoot you from really far away, so you can't even like. I was having to use my crossbow to shoot back at it, which very limits my options of like what types of damage I can do or anything. Because it's like I only have one type of crossbow bolt I can shoot at this thing, and it only does physical damage. And I'm not even sure I can enchant those crossbow bolts specifically, because it's from a different mod that may not allow those to be enchanted in that way, in the traditional Minecraft way. Actually, that in my single player game, I haven't even really got to enchantments yet. Funnily enough, because books are really hard to make. Because you need to make bookshelves to upgrade the enchanting table in the default Minecraft way. But because the single player mod pack that I'm playing makes everything super hard, just like being able to make enough books to make enough bookshelves is a giant hassle.
Wait, so you need the books before you can build the shelf to which to put them?
Your bookshelf is made of like 3 books and 6 planks of wood.
Oh, I see. So like...
They are integrated into the shelf, not a separate item.
They are structurally important.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how the single player mod has been going. Like, I still haven't really progressed much further technologically in that one. But I'm starting to think about doing a major upgrade where I'm just going to basically replace all the single block machines that are like cheap but slow with the multi-block versions, which are huge and a hella expensive to make, but process things like 8 times as quick.
Right.
And like 8 times as efficiently as well, because it uses essentially the same amount of power for it to run, but you're doing like 8 times as much stuff at the same time. I'm like, yeah, I should probably do that. That would probably make everything way more efficient. But my problem with that is because everything is running on Steam at the moment. Well, half the stuff is running on Steam, and the big multi-block things I can build are going to run on Steam. But then you've got then I also need the things that run on electricity that need to have their own little branch off the Steam to turn the Steam into power and all that stuff. So I have to build basically a huge. My main problem was water, whereas I need to finally get round to building the proper water pump rather than relying on the rain tank. Because the rain tank kept up for a while, but now it's now I need a lot more steam, so I'm going to need a lot more water, so I actually need to build this whole water pump thing. And that was the first of the large multi-block things I had to build, and now I just have to build all the machines and connect it all up. Although I am still going to be kind of cheesy and basically run everything on solar steam power. Because I don't know why they give you this option so easily, because it's way overpowered. Because it's just you just build the solar powered steam generator, and it can just make steam out of just being in the sun.
Wait, don't you have to give it water?
Well, you have to give it water, yes, which is why you need a giant water pump. But it's just there's no fuel requirement, and it's just well, that's just way better. Why would I have to manage running around constantly mining fuel and, in this resource-starved early game? Don't want that.
Yeah.
Just make a thing that makes power for free, basically.
Is it supposed to be limited because it doesn't do very much? Because it's having to focus the sun? Or presumably it only works during sunny days?
Well, the trick with that is, of course, because it's Minecraft, you just sleep. And then it just skips over the night. And that also applies to if it's raining as well. You can just sleep and the rain goes away.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's not as powerful in terms of the amount of steam it can put out, obviously, as if you're using an actual, fuel-powered steam boiler. But it is free. The only real problem with it is that it calcifies like a kettle or whatever. When after it's been running for a really long time, it gradually puts out less and less steam because it gets clogged up or whatever.
Okay.
But then all you have to do is just delete the block and replace it, and that just clears it out. So it's really just an occasional maintenance thing. But yeah, I'm thinking that's probably what I'm going to do is basically just have all the steam powered solar panels on the roof above where the room with the big machines in is, and that'll be the steam solved. But yeah, the problem with this mod pack that I've been having in single player is there's a lot of little branching things in the quest log that sometimes it's they just don't seem like they're in the right order sometimes, or almost there's too many options to do the same thing, and it's difficult to tell which one you commit to, which is why I haven't made these big steam machines, because it's I already have electric machines. Why am I building steam machines still?
Right,
Surely the electric ones should supersede those, but they kind of don't. But there's no way you would know that without building at least one of them and being oh, I see. This is way more efficient. Rather than just using the steam to generate more electricity instead. And then there's also a bunch of other little when this mod pack goes into having going into another mod rather than in the multiplayer one where it's part of the main progression. Most of the other mods so far in this one have been side paths.
I see.
But a lot of the time with those, it's hard. It'll pop up. You'll see the start of that mod's tree, and it'll be oh, you can start doing bee breeding or whatever in the forestry mod. But then you'll get 2 steps.
Breeding.
Yes, you'll get 2 steps into that, and then it'll be oh, you can't go any further because you need to progress the main tree to get to medium voltage machines to be able to make a specific material.
Beegenics.
Yes.
The A tree, not the B tree.
No, not the bee tree. Bees and trees. That's pretty much what forestry is. But yeah, that has been a problem where I keep seeing things where it's this would be really useful. The bees would be super useful if I could actually do the bee breeding stuff and make all these fancy types of bees that can make all these extra resources for you. But because I'm not at medium voltage on the main tree, I can't make plastic, which you need to make the bee analyzer that lets you see the genetics of the bees.
Also need the bee analyzer.
It's actually called a bee-alyzer, obviously.
A bee analyzer.
That sounds like you're making stuff into bees. I'm just going to beealize you.
But yeah, that's definitely the sort of balance problem there is just like, you never know if you could actually do the thing until you try it. And then it's like, oh, wait, that's a future thing, but it's kind of showing it to me too soon.
So you have to have done all of that in order to know that, so that next time, and that's true of almost everything, is it?
Yeah, well, you can sort of get around it because, well, it's like a sort of tech tree screen, essentially, the quest log. So when you do one thing, it will like show you the next step or whatever. And then sometimes there'll be branches or splits or whatever to different things you could potentially do now that you've unlocked whatever resource or machine you just made. But there's a button in that UI where you can just basically show the whole tree rather than having it be hidden. So you can then be like, if I just look 3 steps ahead on this line that I'm going down, is this going to be where it cuts off or whatever? You can just go and look and say like, oh yeah, there's not really much point in me following this now because the actual important bit that's coming up is not actually something I can do. But yeah, I feel like if I can get these big steam machines going, that'll be another fairly significant step in like reducing the resource scarcity that I've been having in the early game. Because currently I have some of the machines that can do like the crushing and then the washing and the centrifuging that will give me extra resources.
Okay.
But
The crushing and the washing.
But the trouble with those is that, like, because I'm running them on this really limited amount of steam and electricity, I can't really just shove everything into those machines. So funnily enough, there's just a very convenient mod for this inside the mod pack that gives you basically a clipboard that you can just write notes on and then just stick it on the wall. So
that's actually kind of helpful.
It's actually really cool. I want that mod in, like, all the mod packs. But, like, so on my washing plant machine, I just have a clipboard that I've listed off, like, every material that I'm currently working with and whether I should put it through the washer or not, because like I can conserve power by not washing some things that I don't really care about the extra resources from.
Is that like visible in world as well? Like
Yes.
rather than a sign you have to go up and open like a...
Yes, it is. Well, I mean, Minecraft has signs, but this is like, it's a writable sign with a lot of lines and pages. So you can actually, like, in world, you can just right click the little button that flips over to the next page. So you can fit a lot of notes on there.
Neat. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's very cool. That's a very nice little bit of a... It's like a tiny fragment from a random other mod pack that you're not going to use for probably anything else. But it's a very nice feature for this one specific purpose of being able to write in-world notes.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
And would probably be pretty useful if I actually don't know if that mod is in the multiplayer pack that we're playing, but that would probably be useful for that as well, because then you could actually leave notes that other people can see.
Yeah, but you probably need to craft it out of books.
Well, that would be fine in that mod.
Oh, no, I suppose in the multiplayer one, yeah.
In the multiplayer one, there's no problem with resources. Actually, in the single player one, it is kind of awkward to craft because because it's a clipboard, you need to like make a tiny spring and like a lever and stuff to actually make the clipboard part of it.
I see.
But those are getting to be fairly common resources at this point. I have like the bending machine and everything that can automatically bend the metal.
Sorry, that's just funny. Bending machine. Hi, I'm Bender.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it should have been.
I went to bending college.
Yeah.
I majored in bending.
30 degrees. 32
What was your minor?
degrees. 31 degrees.
Robo-American studies.
But yeah.
Cool, Minecraft.
That's Minecraft. A lot more Minecraft.
That's Minecraft.
And then, I'm still waiting for the DRG. They've started, they've done their teaser trailer or whatever. The voiceover, get mission control to record all the voice lines, talking about the new stuff, and showing what those new enemies are like, the weird scarab beetles. That I think are going to be really annoying, because they're basically flying swarmers.
Yeah.
And the anti-cave
We
leech.
already have a flying swarmer, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And the anti-cave leech. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was. Like, when it grabs you and pulls you into the ground, it, like, creates a pretty big depression as well.
Oh, interesting.
So it's kind of... I mean, once it's grabbed you, it's fairly obvious. Obviously, it's not as obvious before it's grabbed you, because that's kind of the point. But also, also, if you shoot it and you don't kill it, it will escape and reposition, apparently.
Oh.
So that's probably going to be annoying.
Yeah.
Because cave leeches are dumb and just sit there until they die.
Like, barnacles.
Yes, like barnacles. And then obviously they also showed like the new mission type or whatever, which I think I described it before. It's not super. It's quite an old school simple mission type where you just like excavate a big rock and then attach rocket boosters to it and it just flies up out of the tunnel or whatever. Pretty simple. Maybe we'll see what the danger is with that. Like, is it going to be swarms or whatever, or continuous enemy streams like point extraction? We'll see. Shortly. In a week or so, probably.
Oh, it'd be good to have some new Dirge content.
Yeah. Although, no guns or anything. No overclocks. Well, unless they're going to sneakily surprise us with them. But probably not, because when they make these voiceover trailers, these are usually, pretty final on content.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't bother me because I haven't unlocked everything.
Well,
still,
it's true.
But yeah, it would be nice to have some... like any game, I always want some wild additions.
Well, I wouldn't have said this one is going to be that wild.
No, but it is at least in some new stuff.
Yes.
I will take that. It is a game where more is more.
Yes, definitely. And I still haven't quite finished season 5, so maybe I should knock that out this week, probably. I'm very close. I'm on like the last page of I must be at like level 90 something out of 100. So I can go and clean the season 6.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about switching pack or whatever through that menu.
I was about to say, we have got our Segway game to talk about, but I'm actually struggling to think what to say about it.
Well, there's one thing that I've wanted to say about it.
Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment.
Obviously,
obviously, we're playing that whenever Zach's here.
Yes. There was one thing that I thought of to say about it, which was related to what I was talking about the first time about the difficulty of enemies who are ridiculously have too much health.
Yeah, I guess because we're playing on the hardest difficulty this was a problem in the original as well, like on the hardest difficulty setting, but because I think the intent for the difficulty settings is you're kind of supposed to go back, like build up and then attempt the harder difficulties once you've leveled your characters up, because that's the only explanation for when apocalyptic difficulty unlocks at the end of Age of Calamity, right?
That was
you don't have a choice.
Though. That wasn't because of...
Oh, I thought it only unlocked once we reached a certain point.
Well, it might have been a certain point. I don't know if it was the end.
Right,
it might have been you only had to get a certain number of missions.
But then even then, at that point, we were so powered up that going back and doing the early missions in apocalyptic difficulty was still pretty easy.
Yeah, but I think that game might have been easier in general with the way that it was balanced.
It might well have been, yeah, because it does feel like at the point we're at anyway, things are pretty spongy.
Although, funnily enough, the thing that I wanted to say about it was, weirdly, as soon as the old enemies got reintroduced, because, Ganondorf, Demon King summons all the goblins and moblins and whatnot.
Yeah, so they start turning up. Yep.
As soon as they turned up, it's they're actually kind of easy again.
Yeah.
Comparatively, compared to, the Tears of the Kingdom enemies, these ones are weirdly kind of a bit more squishy.
Yeah.
Moblins aren't as terrible. I mean, they're worse.
So far, yeah, they're not that bad. Partially, and also partially because I think they've improved the animation on moblins, because in Age of Calamity, their kick, right, their little pansy kick, was devastating because you couldn't really see it coming. But maybe it's just because of the better presentation or anything like that. But I feel like that has more of a wind up now.
Yeah,
so
I think it probably does.
Which is weird because this leads into the whole conversation about the wind up animations in that game, because they feel so weirdly all over the place.
Yeah.
Some take absolutely ages to wind up, and other things take the boss fight you saw us attempt, Dan. Almost no wind up at all. It's just I'm attacking now. And you're like, what? So it's
really bad when it's one that you're meant to counter, because you don't have enough time to perceive what you're meant to be doing.
Some of the counterattacks are really quick. But we did sort of spend a little bit of time last time trying to get a feel for how the switch strike works, right? Because that almost feels like a get out of jail card if we can figure out its mechanics. Because it doesn't seem to rely on your cooldowns, Maybe. Like, I'm pretty sure we had a switch strike come up when I was cool. My counter abilities were still cooling down. So like when, if that's available to you, you can somehow bring it out of the game that you can do it. It's like that will get you out of those scenarios for free. But I guess you have to be near-ish another character who isn't player controlled as far as we can tell.
And maybe so you have to be synced, but maybe, we don't know.
I'm not convinced. I don't think you do. I'm pretty sure I had a switch strike come up without my sync gauge being up. So I don't think that's related to it. But I think the key detail is there's like, because we're playing it in co-op, that isn't necessarily an option all the time, and because you need to have a third character hanging out in order for that to be a possibility.
And also, if we're doing a co-op thing where we split up, that will also limit because then there's one character might only be with one of us.
Yeah. The game continues to be inconsistent about the 1P, 2P, like one player only missions, which is quite frustrating. But we're still hit-butting against that. Yeah. We got our first flight sequence.
Yes, I guess that's the equivalent of the Divine Beast now.
Yeah, because there's no Divine Beast battles in this thing. Instead, you get Panzer-Dragoon-esque rail shooter segments.
Yeah,
sweet.
Which they're all. I mean, we've only done one so far, and it was all right.
Well, and very, very weirdly, for some reason, this bit does have co-op, except it's shit.
Well, yeah,
it's just like the fact that they even put co-op in was kind of surprising, but it's also crap.
Well, yeah, because you just get to, so the mysterious construct turns into a bird and starts flying around shooting stuff with a sort of upgrade tree mid-mission, which is kind of fun, right? The missiles and your abilities level up as you're playing the level.
Attach the Zonai devices to you, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. And it looks pretty cool from a visual perspective. But the Korok guy, whose name I can't remember, is just sort of riding this bird and has like a little shitty nut launcher or something.
He just throws acorns continuously.
And is constantly saying like "have at ye" or something. He's
got like two voice lines and they play continuously all the time you're firing.
So that's kind of annoying.
And I can't even tell how much damage he does, but it doesn't feel like much.
No, I bet it's like nothing.
Yeah. But it was surprising that there was even two-player in that at all.
Yeah, you can at least be somewhat involved. Which is more than can be said, because the Divine Beasts were like the only one-player segment.
Those were the one-player bits.
Of Age of Calamity. So it's, hey, they improved that, I guess.
At the sacrifice of the other bits, though.
Yeah. There's also some mechanics we still don't fully understand yet. We don't really have a grasp on how the weapon tree stuff fully works this time around, because it's not the same.
We've weirdly started getting characters that can use different weapons, and certain characters have now started getting multiple weapons drop, because we thought they were going to get rid of that, because now you have the steel to upgrade the weapons.
Yeah, you don't merge weapons together. You don't feed weapons to other weapons like you do in the first game. You now have this separate upgrade material that's used to raise. But then it means the amount of weapons we're actually getting is minimal. And what we don't understand at this point is whether there are dupes of those, or if, so weapon drops still happen, but that's how you build up your different loadouts.
Yeah.
Or if each one of those is unique, and we're only ever going to get one of those.
Yeah.
And thus, you need to pick your loadout for we could still load out per weapon, and upgrade them per that way. We could still figure that stuff out. But whether we're locked into that in some ways, which actually feels like a pretty sensible simplification, actually, in terms of managing the menus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other thing to point out at this point in the game, which I don't know, maybe this will change, but the Korok dude might be the most overpowered character just because he has inherent elemental abilities.
Yeah, he's kind of mad.
He doesn't have to worry about his counter cooldown, because he can just hit them on the elemental overload instead, and that's his version. Well, I mean, he has counters, but because you can do the elemental break for free, essentially, by just learning how his...
It's not very strong, so it takes you a while to get there, but
some of them are stronger than others, though. Like, the fire one sucks, but the electric one's pretty quick, and the ice one is the ice one is better if you're standing in water, obviously.
Yeah.
The ice one can be pretty powerful if you're standing in water. And then if you remember to hit them with the wind when they overload, and it does the super tornado thing.
Right, yeah, because that's another new feature. Yeah, there's, elemental combinations.
Presumably everyone could do that, right? If you just use the fan.
I guess, yeah. If something's on fire and you just fan the flame, then
well, any element. Maybe.
Oh yeah, because it just turns it into a whirlwind of that element.
Yeah,
right. That's the.
I'm wondering whether that will be a more viable strategy to use for everyone else as well.
Maybe, yeah.
To basically improve the elemental attacks that they do have from the Zonai devices.
I don't know yet if I'm sold on the change to the abilities and Zonai devices compared to just having the Sheikah slate from before. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on it. It does add some flexibility to how you might tackle certain missions.
Yeah.
But I don't. And to be honest, a lot of the time at the moment, it's just been like, oh crap, that for some reason that loadout is different from what I was using before. Let me rearrange these damn things so I know what I'm doing.
The buttons all change.
Yeah, I still don't feel like we've like there's probably tricks to some of the abilities we've got, like the Zonai bombs, for instance. Like the effectiveness of that seems random, even against the enemies that like are supposedly weak to that stuff.
Yeah,
I can never quite figure out how to write, especially against the Taluses, right? And they're supposed to be bomb weak, and it's like, well, not sure these are doing anything, and then sometimes they'll do something and it's like, oh well, that just blew his arm off in one. Like, what did I do different? And it's I mean,
is it literally you just have to attack them from like the sides, and the bomb actually definitely hits the arm or whatever?
Yeah, like maybe the hit zone is really tiny and it just doesn't quite line up. It's little things like that. There's definitely some nuance here, but it's just not super clear at the moment.
And then obviously the other problem with the Zonai devices is that, like, classic video game problem, it's a limited resource because you only have so many battery reloads per mission. So you're always like, oh, what if there's a boss coming up? What if I need to save these?
And did we talk about the camps before?
Yeah.
Because that feels like a mistake at the difficulty. They feel like, because we're playing on hardest difficulty level, like the camps feel utterly pointless.
Yes.
Right. We've now unlocked the ability, for instance, to do camp preparations before missions. So there's now
there's now even less than reason to do them in mission.
Because how they were set up before, and you'd find a camp, and that would be where you would basically cook something up, kinda, and that would give you like buffs. And it's like, okay, cool, we found a camp. Now we can turn the buffs on if we want them. But now we've got the ability to do that before a mission. It's like, unless we really want to change those buffs or add to them mid-mission, like there's no point in the camps on, what is it, the 4th difficulty level? I can't remember. Because the camps don't do anything. And like, I think on the lower difficulties, they're supposed to replenish some, if not all, of your rations and battery packs. So for us, they're completely useless. And that means we've got to really pace throughout the levels, which is a kind of fun handicap in a way, but it just means these things are pointless. Which feels weird.
And causes the problem of over conserving the Zonai devices or whatever.
Yeah,
you're like, this is a limited resource.
Except for the odd time, like at least with the batteries, there is a chance you can find them.
Sure, in crates. And there don't seem to be as many crates around anymore in this version of the world.
Or random destructibles. At least not yet.
The olden times before everyone had learned how to make crates.
Yeah. I think it's taking its sweet time moving through Hyrule this time. Like, it feels like we're not moving through different environments as fast as we did.
But we've still only just barely got out of the like Tears of the Kingdom story.
Sure.
We've reached the bit where now we're into the new story, essentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's still loads of this game to go. Absolutely boatloads.
Yeah.
And they haven't announced any DLC yet, so. But I wouldn't be surprised if there ends up being a couple packs.
I mean, I am kind of hoping that in the giant Demon King death blood moon, the explosion thing, not all of Hyrule got fucking burned, because that's really what these last few missions have been suffering from. It's just like, it's just brown red, and everything looks the same, and you can't even tell where the fuck you are.
Yeah.
Because that was
I'm sure that'll wear off.
Hopefully. Because that was kind of one of the things I was kind of excited about, to see ancient Hyrule, see if you could recognise any landmarks in the old version. But when it all got immediately burned and scorched, it's like, I can't recognise anything now.
And the blood moon's out.
It's red all the time.
Yeah, so it's...
But hopefully that'll go away. I mean, I think the next main story bit we're coming to is we're about to go into Hevra, right? So maybe there'll be some snow and shit.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a different wind noise continuously playing in the background. Because that one in the last 2 or 3 missions we did was pretty annoying.
Even in the main game, the Hebra like music stuff is the most annoying.
Well, true, yeah. If we get the ice music.
The ice music.
We'll see. We've started getting some more characters, but it's just the boring generic Hylians. The ones that you see in the first few missions are like these 3 dudes who have names and therefore must be real characters.
I mean, yeah, they're all right, but they're not like...
I mean, they're basically just Link's alternate weapon sets, but as separate characters now.
Yeah, and subtly different.
Yeah, they have smart.
Because the mysterious construct is basically getting Link's old
Yes, he is actually just Link.
Yeah.
Maybe for real, though.
Maybe for real, yeah, who knows? But then how would they explain that from a consciousness transporter?
This is all time travel anyway, so whatever.
Wouldn't Link remember this stuff?
I mean, this is what I said. I think I said this theory before the game came out, but it's just like, obviously, while you're in the Shrine of Resurrection, that's when your consciousness time travels back into the past. Obviously.
Right, but then wouldn't he have a... Well, I suppose that depends on the story, I guess, here. Like, wouldn't he remember any of that stuff? Like,
maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just
an imprint of his consciousness.
It's like when
AI.
They do show that when they go in the depths and they find where those mysterious constructs were made, they are basically like the Shrine of Resurrection bed thing, essentially, but the Zonai version of that. Like, it would make sense in some way. Or it could just be a giant coincidence. I mean, Zelda has vaguely seen the construct in the distance at this point, but not like...
Yeah, seen it fly by and sort of been...
There was some element of, like, did she feel something in that presence or whatever? But maybe not. Maybe that was just her being amazed by a flying construct. For a second.
Oh.
And we're also in a weird part of the story where there's, like, 2 teams at the moment.
Right,
You've got the construct and the Hylian dudes who are all split up from like Raru and Zelda and the rest of them.
Yeah.
So we're in this weird separate zone where they haven't met back up yet, which presumably is going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe it'll be 2 teams forever.
And maybe that explains... Maybe that's how it explains what Zelda thinks and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see where the story goes. The weird story.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be weird. Yeah. I have no doubts. Maybe we'll get to play as the assistant pink lady.
I don't know. She's
whatever race that is.
Mysteriously disappeared.
What?
She is the text of the like loading screens or whatever. but like we haven't seen her for a little while.
I think she's in. I think there was a bit of dialogue saying she's safe or something as a result of what of the.
Presumably she's still with the...
I was trying to call it the Calamity, but it's not...
Not quite. Yeah. Presumably she's still with the Raru, half of the party.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, we haven't seen her for a minute. And presumably we're about to find... Because we're going to Hebra, it's going to be birds.
Boys! Yeah, we'll get some kind of Rivali.
And we haven't seen them yet. I mean, it's implied that the Gorons were the last other race before the Gerudo to join in that scene earlier on.
Yes, yeah.
So the birds were already
part of the alliance.
Part of the alliance or whatever. So that shouldn't come as a surprise to them, at least, I guess.
Anyway, more of that to come.
Yep. A fucking lot more.
Yeah. It's still quite good fun. Although, as I found last week, I entered a sort of tiredness state where I'm pretty sure I was standing still for a while because I just zoned out completely from the game and was like, not asleep, but not awake either. It put me into this weird middle ground where I'm just like, burr.
Burr mode. Okay.
Yeah. I had burr brain. Not bird brain, but burr
brain.
I was fully brained.
You definitely just have to
fully brained.
You definitely just have to push buttons for a while in that game. It's like just push the same 2 buttons in a rhythmic pattern for a long time.
I mean, it is
soothing.
Yeah, it is weirdly zen-like sometimes playing that game. It is weirdly calming, like the amount your brain half turns off and then has to turn back on again at times. Like it's kind of nice. Even in the hardest difficulty level.
Yeah.
Except for when you get caught out by boss fights. After we did, I suppose we haven't talked about it. We did enter a segment that it did like describe as like, by the way, you're entering a really gnarly battle, and then like, okay, fine, and then it was about 25 minutes long or something, then it goes, level end. Okay, cool, that wasn't that bad. That was like 5 minutes longer than normal. But what it actually means is you're entering like a sequence of levels, and it doesn't go back to the map or stop.
Yeah,
it's like
that was where the flight sequence was included as part of that. It was like two actual
main
levels
missions and a flight
flight
sequence in like all in one go. And it's like, what would happen if I stopped during this? Would you have saved like after we completed so I could go back and do it? Like,
probably not.
No, probably not. So I don't think the first game did that to this extent. Well, but at least there was a nice warning.
Well, in the first game, it was the Divine Beast segments were attached to a regular level, and it warned you that it was about to happen at the start of that mission.
I think it was only when you replayed them, you got the prompt saying, did you want to actually do the Divine Beast section?
Okay, you get the prompt when you replay them, but it was really obvious through the story that they were about to happen as well. I guess after you've done one, but... Yeah. But in this case, it was kind of out of the blue. That it was like, this is a flight section. We haven't had one of those yet, and therefore there was no way we could know that this was coming.
Yeah. I don't think I even got spoiled on the existence of those, so that's nice. So we both played that. What else? I might as well take over from here. What else have I been doing? Obviously, I've been doing some fisting of the North Star.
The other button mashing game.
Yeah, kinda. I'm at that point, that you get to in every Yakuza style game, where it's just like, how big is this? Like, I thought I was given how rapidly you rip through the chapters in this. I'd kind of assumed this probably was going to be a shorter game, but actually, I think I'm just realizing this is probably just going to have much more. Like many shorter chapters of story,
right?
Okay.
Because I'm at that point in the game where it's still expanding. It's still showing you, now you can do this. Oh, now you can do this. Now you can find arcade machines in the desert, which the game describes as relics, which I find kind of funny. It's like it says relic discovered, and you're like, it's an outrun cabinet.
You play any of them?
Yes.
Oh,
you
good.
You take them back. You take them back to Eden with you, and there's a guy who's opening an old arcade, like out of things you find.
Out of the relics.
Yeah, out of the relics you find, and no one really knows what you're talking about. And this guy's like, "Oh, you found Space Harrier? Oh my gosh!" And you're like, "Yeah, whatever. You can have it." But yeah, it's clearly just using the. Yeah, obviously they made all this stuff already for the Yakuza games, so they're just bringing it in here, which, it's kind of weird. Like, it occurred to me the other day, like, the lineage, again, like, every now and then I forget exactly, like, who RGG are, but it's like, oh yeah, these were, like, XAM2 and Amusement Vision peeps, right? These guys made F-Zero.
Well, that version of F-Zero,
yeah, these guys made F-Zero GX. Like, it's so weird. More like car racing. I can now race the buggy in stuff. I'm slowly gaining abilities that let me traverse to different areas of the desert. Although I haven't really found anything in, like, if you go off the beaten path and you to a path you can actually traverse, I haven't actually found any like side content just out there, so I'm not sure it's really worth exploring the desert on your own. Like, have something. So at the minute, I don't really go out there on my own unless there's something telling me to go somewhere, like a treasure to find. Because this is one of the major distractions at the moment. Is like you'll get into some fights in the town, and then occasionally they'll drop treasure maps, which lead to a point in the desert which you can go to, which are, at the moment, as far as I can tell, either an arcade machine or bits for your buggy, which you may or may not be able to actually construct yet. So I'm doing a lot of those. And I'm hitting the point where somehow I think, even though I'm trying to engage with all of the side stuff, it's like I feel underleveled. Like the goons in town are 42, and I'm sitting around 38, 39 at the moment, and that's usually and the last boss I fought was a 42, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm a little bit behind here. I'm a bit behind the curve because that last boss felt kind of tough. But then it's hard to tell exactly because just like Kiwami and Yakuza 3 in particular, the difficulty of boss fights is all over the place. Like, some are really easy, some are super difficult. The spikes, the difficulty curve, especially for the boss fights, just doesn't feel particularly consistent. But that was a problem in Kiwami 1, which is about roughly when this game was made. And also was a problem in the Yakuza 3 remaster. Some of the early fights were really unnecessarily tough. And I think I mentioned this last time we talked about it. It's because of all the same reasons, really, like unnecessary like armor frames from bosses. Like they can dodge and move quicker than you. They do a smeg ton of damage. Like it's just their moveset doesn't always feel like it works with the moveset of Kenshiro, and you haven't really got a counter to it. You just kind of have to suck it up and see if you can learn the patterns and get good. It's the only choice you have. But
what can you even do to grind if you need to level up?
Well, you can just go and fight people. Just walk around town and find goons to fight. They will give you a small amount of XP. If you go do the bartender job, that will give you a small amount of XP and a small amount of money. I found the rhythm game in this one, which is the concept is so stupid. I don't know if I talked about this last time, but if you go to eventually the clinic unlocks as a place you can go.
Clinic.
And you get asked basically to use your weird Hokuto Shinken, your fingers of destiny, I suppose, that can randomly cure anything on people, like to just go help at this medical clinic. But they've got so many patients, and it's like, well, how do we get through all this? Well, we'll use music therapy, which basically, like, which meant apparently to the previous doctor who worked there, it's like he just played music through the speakers. But it's like, but for you, what that means is you're
rhythmically not punching people.
Rhythmically not punching people, except for the people that do need a good punching, because they're there as well. It's really strange. So we're listening to a sort of like slightly hip-hopped version of ba 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 ba, while like in the background Kenshiro's just zipping around the room like stabbing people. It's really strange. It's got an Uenden like interface where you just, display whether, it's a classic button appears on screen, ring shrinks towards it. Press the button in time with the ring kind of thing. And the music is sort of meh. The opposite for most of the stuff that gets through there. But you can get a little bit of experience by doing one of those as well. There's actually like prizes to be won if you manage to like S rank those levels as well, which can be somewhat useful to have. I haven't S-ranked everything, but I've A-ranked all of them. So I've got some stuff, just not all the stuff. As I mentioned before, the hostess game is back. Because of course it is. That continues to be quite... It's all right. It's a bit of a time waster. What makes me laugh about it, probably more than anything, is like just how... Like the theme for the hostess game, like while you're playing it, is very Martin Garrix. It's like this thumping techno. It's even got that sort of, I forget what they call it. There's a snare noise that has like that goes sort of at the end of a couple of bars, like like that sort of like.
You do a good version of that.
That's pretty much what it sounds like. But yeah, it does that. Does that like heavily reverb but heavily compressed snare noise. Yeah, it's with a sort of hard synth top line. It's really weird like contrast for the rest of the game, but it's kind of fun. And even when you're in the menu sorting everything out, there's this kind of like almost drill beat going on as you're like we're running a hostess club, and in the background there's like this like 808 hip hop beat play. It's really strange, but I'm into it. This a shame, like, as I said before, it's a little bit of a shame that I don't think the story is particularly holding up this time around. It's pretty boring, to be honest. Like,
that's not good.
Yeah, you know, the love of your life is in this dome place. That I don't know how much is to say. I guess I could go full spoilery here. Do you want to go full spoilery? Let's go full spoilery.
All right, you have been warned.
I've basically discovered that Sphere City, as it's called, which is sort of attached to Eden, was an old military base before the war, before the apocalypse. It's like, for a military base, this place is pretty ornate and pretty like weird. It's like that kind of like subgenre of military where, I don't know, they liked putting Art Deco, like it's a bit like the sewers in Skies of Arcadia, right? That we were just in, like a little bit too much, like
slightly too fancy,
too arty, too much going on.
Like the whole thing in Final Fantasy 13,
kinda
before you go outside.
Yeah, it's very like even all Final Fantasy, any of the Final Fantasies, right? It's a bit Final Fantasy encoded that it's a little bit too fancy, right? So apparently that used to be like a missile silo, right? It's where, but it's still got the missiles in it.
So they did a real bad job in the war.
Well, yeah, I guess this one just didn't fire. Like but the thing is its whole thing is like there's a chamber in it that if someone goes in, like this chamber of miracles heals whoever's in it. But
unlike you punching them, which can do that anyway.
Yeah, but this cures all ailments of any kind. And supposedly, currently, the person you're searching for, Yuria, is in the chamber right now. The downside is that also means that the facility, like, the whole point of the chamber is to keep that one person alive, so when the apocalypse happens, they're okay.
It doesn't seem very helpful for that one person after the apocalypse.
No, exactly. I don't understand what are they like they're the ruler of the new world or something because they're the only one.
Well, that is kind of anime, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. But it's yeah. So this silo is now active because the person you're looking for is like in it. And it's like and the giant hourglasses, not even kidding, the giant hourglasses on the front door are like ticking down and getting towards the end. So it's like the missiles from this silo are going to launch soon.
I mean, now it's starting to sound like it might be making a different anime reference, like the going towards Trigun, where like, you know, inside the orbs it's people. Or not people, angels.
No, I guess, yeah.
It's like she's actually powering the whole thing. She's not being healed at all. They're draining her.
I mean, maybe. I mean, there is prior story, like there is backstory that supposedly the previous ruler of Eden, like his wife was in the chamber for a bit, but he bust her out. Like I think because they sort of knew what was going on. Like,
they realised it was draining her. Not healing her.
Or no, because she was healed. So I know at this point in time. She was healed, but then he mysteriously killed her anyway. And then the current ruler killed him because it was her dad. Then she was like, "What? You killed my mom, die!" But
and then everyone killed each other.
Of course he's not dead. Of course he's not dead.
He didn't dramatically explode enough.
Yeah. And this is
how you know whether someone's actually dead or not.
And this is just kind of happening while other sort of... That's the main plot line pretty much at this point, but like the rest of the stuff that's going on just... Unfortunately, it's like it's filled with stuff that just seems to happen. Like, okay, now these guys are attacking the city for some reason. Like, let's deal with
random
them.
raiders.
Yeah. Now these guys are attacking the city for some reason. Let's do that. It's been a couple chapters. We need another city invasion. Let's go do that now. This guy's wife has been kidnapped by someone who looks a bit like you, apparently. Oh, mistaken identity storyline. Let's go deal with that. That's all. Yeah. Anyway. It's stuff that's inconsequential, really, to the big picture.
It's stuff that is anime episodes, basically.
Kinda, yeah.
Except now you have to play them.
And unfortunately, like, it's all, like... I mean, I guess this stuff would be fine if it was in the context of the Yakuza games, but because it's in the context of ridiculous anime, Fist of the North Star, Mad Max land, like, none of it feels quite as weird or as wacky as you want it to. You're just sort of like, yeah, all right. to almost everything that's happening. You're just sort of like, yeah, I believe that. Because why wouldn't I? You're playing most of the guys with any strength in this game are like 3 times wider than a normal human being.
Yeah, actually.
It is pretty funny actually during some of the bartending like storylines where people are like talking to Kenshiro and he's just standing there in this suit, massive, with his tiny head, just sort of blank facing the entire time. It is quite funny to look at sometimes, this game. It's Anyway, I'm having a good time. It's just like
Good.
It's not a Yakuza game. It's
yeah, of course.
I can kind of understand why this is the spin-off and why it's not really
Yeah, sure.
why nobody really knows about it. It's I can kind of understand, but
Under the radar.
but it's still a good game. But yeah, if you skip it on your Yakuza journey, I cannot hold that against you.
Don't skip any other Yakuza games. Or
No,
I'll hold it
Definitely
strongly against
not. I
you.
very much will. Yes, you must play them all, or not at all. Commit. No, seriously, you guys, commit. Come on, join me on this. Join me.
Do you think you can convince Zach? No, Zach doesn't. You don't really play anything with any kind of third-person camera. Again.
No, not really. We've talked
Except
about it
Hyrule
before.
Warriors.
Yeah,
Except Hyrule Warriors, yeah, and Zelda,
Oh yes.
and Mario,
And Bonanza.
Donkey Kong, and technically, also Metroid, I guess, kind of.
That's not third person.
When you're a ball,
That doesn't count.
when you're driving a motorcycle, I don't know.
I guess that does go third person then for a bit. Yeah.
That's just like an advanced ball.
Advanced ball.
That would have been cooler if they just made it like.
Why are the wheels
that would have been
balls?
cool. Yeah, that would have been cool.
Well, the thing is, when you're in the factory that's assembling the motorbikes, the way you escape the factory the first time is you put the ball in the hole where the wheels are coming out of, and the robot arm recognises it as a wheel.
Oh, I see.
So the wheels basically are balls, as far as the robots are concerned, anyway.
Okay, they're ball enough. I guess they didn't want people to call it the ball bike. But...
I'm sure they would have called it that.
People wouldn't have called that one. Don't be stupid. Samus is getting on a ball bike. What else have I been doing? Not a great deal else, to be honest. It's been, I went and saw my... I called them the Cambridge crew, but they were in Yarmouth, so we did that. A couple of them live in Yarmouth now. But we, always a good time. We played a bit of Ultimate Chicken Horse. We didn't play the new one.
You didn't play Sheep Raccoon.
We didn't play Sheep Raccoon. We played a bit of Chicken Horse, or we played a bit of Towerfall. Man, those games are good. They're a good time. They remain a fabulous time. It's been a really long time since I played Towerfall, and it's like, so it was...
So it was better.
It was fresh. Yeah.
Powerful Ascension.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic game.
None of us played Celeste, did we?
I've played Celeste. Yeah.
Rob did.
Oh, yeah.
And I always
Don't
thought
remember
I
you
never
talking
did.
about that.
So Celeste is how I got this callus on my thumb that won't go away
Oh, no.
because I was mashing the A button so hard.
Be aware.
Yeah. Celeste has done permanent damage to my body. But it's a good game.
Can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, so other than playing those two things, I think we talked about BallisticNG, right, on the last podcast a little bit.
We did.
Because I dipped into playing a bit of Omega Collection again, and I was
we need
like...
to do a video of that.
Yeah.
But it needs to be in order, so it needs to be the end of your series.
But yeah, I sort of like came to the realization, it's like, you know what, I haven't actually played that much of this. Why haven't I played that much of this? So I've been playing more of it. I've been yeah.
I'm kind of excited to play it if and when I get a Steam machine on that.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think what I've talked about in the past is still accurate. Like, it has that feel of like being somewhere in between the PS1 era and the, I guess, Wipeout Pure style games. I think it's a bit quicker than you would expect. Like, I think the actual game speed is a bit faster, perhaps, than what you would normally associate. But it does that thing where the camera is right? The camera is, like, by default. This is all by default. There are other ways to play this game, which is interesting. But, like, by default, it does the thing that they call it the camera track, right? It in the Wipeout games, the chase cam has a tendency to stay centered on the circuit rather than be directly behind your craft, right?
Sure.
Which is somewhat unique to Wipeout. But they do a pretty good job of emulating that here. So, and that I think goes an awful long way to mimicking the feel of Wipeout. Just that perspective. I mean, you can go to a more traditional chase cam if you want. That option is there. If you want your camera more locked behind the vehicle, yeah, you can do that. That's perfectly acceptable. But yeah, that one little detail I think is so critical. I think to some of the feel. I mean, it has the more sort of bouncy anti-grav physics that I think you'd be more like from 2097, say, where verticality does matter a bit. The ships can ground, they can bounce off the floor, and pitch control is a thing, so you can push your nose up to try and avoid grounding out, which is cool, a nice little addition. They are definitely going for the somewhere in between 2097 and Wipeout 3 in terms of presentation. Like the HUD is more Wipeout 3 which is cool.
Wipeout 3 was the coolest.
Oh yeah. Wipeout 3 style is incredible. But obviously they don't have TDR behind them, so they are mimicking that. Yeah. You can tell they're not quite. They're not hitting that same level of quality. You can tell, but they mimic it pretty well. And the visuals are crunchy. They're kind of low poly, a bit like the PS. Well, you can turn a lot of PS1 like behavior on in the graphics options, which is fun. Like, so if you don't want your polygons to be perfectly perspective correct, you can turn PS1 style vertex rounding on, so they're not quite right and a bit jiggly. You can do that with the texture mapping as well, so the texture mapping isn't quite right, just like how the PlayStation did it. So they're kind of fun to turn on. Probably best combined with just lowering the resolution of that game to something really low if you want that real crunchy feeling. All the texture work is unfiltered, so they look nice and pixely. I'm particularly fond of how this game looks during a wet night race, because it still looks, the lighting is nice and feels very reminiscent of those early Wipeouts, but also there's a couple of modern touches, like there's a little bit of reflection going on some of the surfaces, and like to the point where like the big glow coming out of the engine has that sort of wet pavement reflection off the track, but in a pixely style that looks really rad. Like, it's a shame you don't see it enough, really, because where the chase cam is, you don't really see your own reflection off the track, but like it's but off the other vehicles, like, it looks really neat. And there's your ships even blow up the water that's supposed to be resting on the track a bit, so there's a little bit of this like air burst around it, and the wingtips on the ships have contrails coming off them. It's just like a really cool look. The trails aren't long enough, like, I'm gonna say that, like, and there's no option to make the like big bright trails behind the ships like Wipeout 2097 PC length. Like, there's no option to do that. To the point where I'm sort of sat here thinking, like, this game is so highly moddable that...
Well, I mod this.
Yeah. There's a bit of me wondering, all I need to do is just find the variable, hopefully, and just turn it up. And then I'll have my trails of my dreams. So I might look into that. Actually, it's tempting.
See if Copilot can do that. Tell it.
Figure out how the modding for this works, and I might give that a go. Apparently, it's like C# happy in places as well. So I think this might be a built-in mono game or something. I'm not 100% sure, but
cool.
But
what else is C# Unity, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, well, in fairness, most things can have a C# layer these days. You can.
Except Minecraft.
Except Minecraft. Yep. So I might look into that. But yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, as I say, I don't think it doesn't quite push the same button in me as a Wipeout, and I'm not quite sure why. Like I don't.
What like a Mega Collection does?
Yeah, in the same. I don't think it. There's something I cannot put my finger on, but it's just not. It doesn't quite nail the vibe 100%. Like, it is, but I don't really understand what it's doing wrong. Like, it is so close. but it doesn't. And maybe it's just because I know it's not got Wipeout in the title. Like maybe that is all it is. But it is so goddamn close to being a Wipeout game. But there's just something about it that I just know it isn't. Yeah. And for whatever reason, like so it doesn't quite hit the heights of any Wipeout game for me. But it's pretty close, and it's pretty goddamn good. You could mod it to have the like some guy has just made all of the original Wipeout tracks like in the engine, so you can go and play those. Garderopa, for instance, from like one of my favorite tracks ever from Wipeout 2097. It's there. Go nuts. Yep. A lot of the ship designs from Wipeout 3 have been done as well, so you can bring all those in. Pretty much a lot of the ships from F-Zero are in there as well. Like people have just made those for them. Bring them in. But it looks really weird.
Yeah, I would think so.
But you can do it.
I saw there's like I don't know what their term for it is, but there's like a game, I don't know, mod mode or whatever, which makes it more Wipeout Fury, complete with like the handling, but also like the absorb weapons.
Yes, so there are options like that. So the boost system, for instance, is one of the things you can not during its main campaign, but if you do a custom race, you can change how the boosting works. For instance, it's got the Wipeout 3 style hyper thrust system in this. But by default, but you can change it if you want. So there's a boost power up instead. Just like those go, so you get the turbo boost power-ups turn up. Or you can have it so both are turned on. That's a thing as well. Or if you just don't like that as a mechanic, turn them all off. That's okay too. You can do that. There is an alternative handling model in the game as well, which I think they call the default one like a 21 something. It's like a year, like 2158 or something. But there's also a 22 something handling model, which was apparently the handling model they were using pre-release, like while this was being developed. Like that the handling model was but they kept it around, but just made it as an alternative option, which I think you can turn on during the campaign. You can pick the 22 variants of ships, and then it will change the handling model to that style, which I haven't actually tried yet. I've been sticking to the intended model. But there's also a third model I've noticed in the options. You can turn on floor hugger mode, which I haven't tried, which I guess makes it more F-Zero.
Yeah, that would be when you want the F-Zero cars.
Yeah. So I haven't tried that either. But apparently, these physics models could be modded in and stuff like that. You could build your own stuff. There are sound packs and HUD packs that people have made. Unfortunately, it seems like only tracks and ships are available through Steam Workshop. So if you wanted to add these other things in, you've got to do it the old-fashioned way by putting files in folders and stuff like that. And I don't actually know where to what the proper mod source is for this stuff. Like, is there a central repository that everything goes in? I don't really know where that is, but it would be interesting to have a look through, see what people are making. It's cool. There are many anti-grav projects out there that aren't F-Zero and Wipeout, and most of them aren't that good. This one's good. Trust in BallisticNG.
Very cool. It's cool to have. I mean, obviously, it's good that people are making their. I know the genre is like has the heavyweights of Wipeout and F-Zero, or whatever, and a lot of the stuff is inspired by that or whatever. But it's nice when people are making original things. But it's also nice when someone's making something so faithful to that specific. Especially when Wipeout has evolved, even though Wipeout ended. Basically, it's still evolved quite a long way past that 90s feel, and it's nice to have a modern way to play that 90s feel, that like come back from the club.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't help at the moment that my brain is just full of it because I'm reading that Wipeout Futurism book.
That book is so cool.
That book is incredible. Yeah.
How did Naomi get that for you?
Yes, she managed to find a copy of it. It's like the
ultimate present for you.
Man, it's so perfect. Yeah, and that book is so high quality. Like
I kind of want to get it, but then I think I might just read it at yours when I'm at yours.
Sure. I mean, there is quite a fair bit of like text in there. Some of it I already knew, but it's like it's another take on the like history of Psygnosis and stuff like that, which is in itself cool. Psygnosis is just a cool old school company that give no shits style business that just couldn't exist anymore. And It's brilliant, like reading all that stuff. I knew a lot of it. I don't know, I'm quite well versed in it. So when reading it again, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of knew that. Like, I'm not well versed enough to spiel it off to you now like a historian, but there's a lot of stuff in it where it's just like, oh yeah, I knew about that. And it's I'm reading the section where they're talking about the marketing of the original Wipeout with the bloody nose Sarah Cox photo and stuff like that had like absolutely no indication that this was a video game really or anything. Like it just turned up in adverts around the place. It's like, yeah, this is wild. Like, it's wild, and just how they were allowed to go so deep on the like the TDR made artwork for the box, right? It's insane and how good it is, but it's not necessarily like if it weren't for the ship included in it, you wouldn't really know what it's about. Which they then sort of backed away from a little bit for Wipeout 2097. Like that artwork isn't quite as cool as the first one, but it's and they went even more abstract for Wipeout 3.
That was the pinnacle of that stuff,
which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, I love it so much. And it's like, it's a hurt for me as well, if I'm being perfectly honest, because I'm reading this stuff going, all of this is so cool, it can never happen again. Like, not from these guys, at least not for this property. Like, this isn't this is done. This is never happening again. And the attempts to revisit this feel, to revisit this vibe, just haven't hit. In the same way that it did, and maybe it can't again. This is the peak of nostalgia for me. Is this like nothing comes close? So yeah, Wipeout Futurism though, hell of a book if you're at all into this stuff. Anyway, that's me. That's what I've been doing. I'm now in the process of deciding what device to take with me on holiday. Steam Deck's quite big.
Well, you think you've taken the Switch 2?
Or maybe like because it's the Switch 2 and maybe I don't want to lose it or break it, maybe just take the Switch 1.
Yeah.
You'll have to see what it's done to your profile or whatever.
That's true. I haven't really fired up the Switch 1 since moving to Switch 2, so I don't quite know what state it's in.
Will you have to like transfer game licenses or whatever?
Well, if I'm just plugging cartridges in, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh yeah, presumably.
Or do I just bring a 3DS, because I did just get a couple of Professor Layton games, so maybe I should just do those. Like,
or you could finally fucking play Bravely Default.
I mean, I guess I could. Yeah. Or Luigi's Mansion 2, for that matter. I could do those.
Find my DS in a drawer. What should I be playing on that? Maybe.
Like DS or like DS, not a 3DS?
DS. Yeah. It's a DS Lite, I guess.
Meteos.
Meteos.
The only game that matters.
It had Elite Beat Agents in the slot.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just play that.
I mean, if you're the purist in me is saying you should get Ost Tatakayo Enden instead of Elite Beat Agents, but
no, I should do. Yeah,
that is the better game.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Elite Beat Agents is cool though. That's fun. I don't know. Original DS, Mario Kart DS is a pretty good Mario Kart.
But going back to old handheld Mario Karts is always a struggle because it's just like the handling is so fucking weird in all of these games.
Yeah. The GBA one was good. It was weird.
Super Circuit, that's pretty tough. Yeah. Pretty tough, that one actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. I like that one a lot.
Clearly, that's the answer to what you play on the 3DS is anything that goes in the not 3DS slot as well.
The GBAs.
Start putting some GBA games in.
Sonic Rush.
But that slot is like shallow in the light.
Yeah.
It's like weird. Like it's like, because the GBA cartridges were already quite a lot shorter than the Game Boy cartridges, but it still like sticks out weirdly from the DS. The DS Lite, anyway. Was it like proper sized in the original DS?
Yes, it was.
Wait, so the GBA cartridges stick out, do they, in the DS Lite?
Yeah, they stick out.
Oh.
Because it's thinner. It doesn't have like the ledge that the fat old DS had.
Right.
And it comes with like a little. It's like got a little shim, like when you're not using it. The slot.
Yeah.
Cover the slot over.
Oh, yeah, I guess I haven't tried that because I did pick up a DS Lite last year, because my DS is it's kind of it's well fucked at this point.
Oh, well fucked.
My fat DS.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I haven't plugged a GBA thing into it. It's just WarioWare touched. Possibly the best WarioWare game.
Assuming the touchscreen still works correctly.
Yeah, which it doesn't. Which is one of the things that definitely doesn't on my old DS.
Cool.
Wasn't it that Tetris DS was all right? The strange Nintendo modes.
I don't know if you want to go back to that after Tetris Effect.
Oh well, no, that is true. Going back to anything other than Tetris Effect is hard. Probably means we should play that Lumines game.
Probably.
Lumines are ours.
Oh yeah. I'm so bad at Lumines. I tried playing there's like a demo you can get of the Lumines on PS5, but yeah, I just went back to Tetris Effect because I'm suck so bad at Lumines. But yeah, it's obviously Lumines, therefore really good.
Yeah, just with the Tetris Effect treatment.
Yeah. But Lumines was already more that way.
Yeah,
obviously,
absolutely.
The way it started. I mean, Tetris Effect is kind of a Lumines up Tetris, basically.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. That kind of started with the Lumines on the PSP.
Yeah, definitely. You're the one who got me into that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love that PSP. I played Wipeout Pure and like that Ridge Racer game to absolute death.
I mean, something else I guess I haven't. I've been playing Ridge Racer 2 on the PSP version a little bit, just because it runs real nice on the Steam Deck. But
which game's that?
So
there's a sequel.
There's a sequel on the PSP. Yeah. So you had the original Ridge Racer for PSP. Ridge
PSP,
Racer 2 on PSP was actually pretty much just that, but it was more of an expansion, like it was a special edition almost. Right. So it's Ridge Racer, but with more Ridge Racer in it.
Because Ridge Racer 6 was kind of very similar.
Ridge Racer 6 is pretty similar. Yeah, they changed the boost mechanic slightly because I think in Ridge Racer PSP you can only use one tank at a time. But in Ridge Racer 6 they changed it so you could X2 and X3 boost. And in one shot, which gave you a bigger speed improvement, but you had to burn all your tanks at once. Which I think is still the standard. As far as Ridge Racer goes, if you call it, it's a bit of a dead series at the moment, but I think that persisted all the way through Ridge Racer Vita, which I think was the last proper one, but nobody likes that one because it was a DLC fest. I have got a copy of Ridge Racer 7 now, but I've never played it because it means getting the PlayStation out, the PS3 out. Because that version is basically supposedly a better Ridge Racer 6.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I never actually got to that.
Bring back Ridge Racer.
Well, we'll go get Screamer, I guess.
Sort of doesn't count, I guess.
Like.
It's not really a Ridge Racer. Yeah, that's going for
a Screamer over.
It's not really. Yeah, it's going for a very different thing. But it does look interesting. Get your anime storylines into your racing games.
Maybe.
You know which one game I've been meaning to... I mean, there's a lot of games I've been meaning to go back and try. But the GBA F-Zero game that has a story, the Captain Falcon one.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what it was.
Terminal Velocity.
No, Maximum Velocity was the one we had. And there were two sequels on the GBA, one of which I think only came out in Japan, but there was another one that was based off the short-lived F-Zero anime. I think did come out in the West, which has a Captain Falcon story baked in. I want to give that one a go. I think it plays pretty similarly to Maximum Velocity, but yeah, I'd like to try that. Games to go back to. Add them to the list of anti-grav races that I've played in incorrect order.
Yep.
Anyway, what have you been playing, Dan?
There's a bit more Red Dead. Yeah. I think what they need to do for GTA 6 is the same thing I was saying, but like I was thinking about it, and it's like they just need to playtest like Valve do. They just need to playtest their missions, because it's like you're trying to, it's working well and everything's fine, and you're in this big cinematic moment, and then you get the bullshit like, oh, you were slightly too far from this character.
Yeah,
and,
right, yeah.
And that constantly happens, and like that happens all through from GTA. Well, like that was your problem with GTA 4 and then 5. It's the same stuff all the way through. It wasn't so bad in Red Dead 1, I don't think, somehow. But yeah, that's definitely there with a vengeance. And it's like it kills the mood and the flow completely when that happens. And it's like it just needs to like, well, they need to play test them so that all the different ways that people get into different situations, and then tweak the game so that it like guides you, to like, so it isn't instant, that classic wasted thing that happens in GTA 5. The exact same thing happens where it's like the sort of, well, what even is it? It's like a sort of photograph thing happens and it all goes black and white, failure state, and then it gives you the reason. And it's like you need to know as much as possible beforehand what the reason you're about to fail is going to be, right? And they just don't do that. And it's like that's my wish for GTA 6 is they just take all this time to just play test these things. It is
really annoying when that happens because it's just like you're into it and you're like, what just happened? And you're like,
because you're having fun, and then you're like instant, and in an instant you're like, fuck this game, basically.
Yeah, because it's so like you didn't realize you fucked up, and that's the most annoying part of it. It's like, oh, well, I didn't know I was supposed to. Oh, all right, fine. I guess I'll do that this time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I know that and this is a problem with these games as well, is that they have to communicate some kind of quite complicated goal to you in different missions because there's so much variation in the like gameplay and stuff. It's not like, it's not like it's the same each time, like a lot of games or whatever. Like, so, but like, and you don't want to be reading. And it's like, how do they do that they need to figure out how to do it in a more naturalistic way where it's obvious what the exact goals are, right? Without having to explain it with bunch of text or something.
Yeah, because Red Dead's whole thing is like it just puts it in a small bubble in the top. It doesn't pause the game. It just puts it in a bubble on screen whilst the game is still running, and that's hard to pass sometimes.
It would be okay if that was just. It would be all right if that was just a backup and it was like obvious from the story and the circumstances what needed to be done, and that was just there to make it ultra clear. But you should be able to. I think they should design the mission in such a way that if you can't read that, it doesn't matter. Like, ideally, right?
Yeah. Or maybe they in some cases, perhaps they can abstract that a little bit by it's like, well, here's the job we're about to do. Like, here are the notes I've written up. And in-world goes through like a book or something when you can read through the notes of what the...
Yeah, I would prefer
what you're about to do is like, so you're just paging through and being like, it's important we don't do this, and it's like, okay, cool, no, I get it. All right, that's actually all right.
I mean, that should just be the cutscene, right? Like, I mean, that's kind of what they did towards the end of like GTA 5 Heist or whatever. You have the setup period
that was good. The setup
about...
and the heist and stuff. But of course, it's more dramatic when like things go wrong and stuff. And you want to respond.
Yeah. And thus you don't really know what the objective is because it's coming up. It's on the fly, right?
I really just think they need to play test because Valve managed to do it. That they don't need to explain things, and they do make it. I'm not saying it's as complex sometimes, but like I think that's how they do it. Watching that Half-Life 2 documentary, it's like they just tested it, so that things were in your eye line or you could intuit from the sound effects and stuff and like what to do or what was dangerous and stuff like that. Because there are some novel things that even going all the way back to Half-Life 2, like the kind of floor is lava stuff, with the antlions and like all kinds of things. They do, it's like, and sometimes it's a bit heavy-handed, but they do teach you through things in the game how to play the game, and things do change as it goes through. And I think that's really what Rockstar need to do.
But then in some ways, a lot of the concepts in there, they're not often one-offs, right? In Half-Life,
no, it's true.
So you're learning as you're going, and it's like.
But that's another thing is like Red Dead 2 did improve slightly in that one-offs aren't a good idea. Like GTA 5 has the infamous, I mean, I don't think it's fine, but where you have a whole mission where you're just like moving containers in a shipping container, like in a port or something. And it's like, why is this even in? I mean, it's cool that this is in here, but why am I? I'm supposed to be a gangster, and I
guess someone was a Shenmue fan. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a bit Shenmue-y, I suppose. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, my tactic of constantly chewing tobacco is paying off.
Ruining your teeth, but you're fine.
yeah, it probably is. Knowing Red Dead, I probably do need to go to the dentist. But yeah, there's probably some buried stat for like how bad my teeth are. In fact, there was literally a one of those Annie Austin videos recently, which was looking at the models in Red Dead and looking at people's teeth and being like, oh, they realistically lack certain teeth as they would have done at the time, but on average, researching this, like the residents of Valentine in Red Dead probably have, better dental health than they probably should have done.
Right. That's quite funny.
It's quite funny that they've gone to the detail of having like modeled like certain people with different lacking teeth and stuff.
That's cool.
I mean, ludicrous. But cool.
You never noticed it for the most part.
So yeah, carrying on with that bit and a bit of Disco Elysium as well. But that's the main thing is I've been as I said, I've been playing my electric guitar more, so that's been my thing at the moment. But as usual, my YouTube got converted to. I watched 2 guitar videos and now it's just nothing guitar pedal. It's just wall-to-wall guitar pedal videos. So that's why it's a good money hole pit, as they called it. What was it in PC Gamer magazine in the 90s? There was one page on hardware, for like before, for when you were buying joysticks and things, and it was just called the money pit. And the subheading was your disposable income disposed of. Yeah, that's kind of how it feels. But there you go.
I mean, that's okay. The modern world is doing that to me anyway at the moment. Like, my disposable income was forcibly disposed.
It's been disposed of.
This might have to be a cheap year for me, boys.
Yeah, cheap year.
Well, you're set up. Good thing there's no console announcements on the horizon.
You've got the Steam Deck, you've got the Switch, you're good.
I say there's no console announcements on the horizon. There might be 3 handhelds this year.
But they'll all be the same, so it doesn't really matter.
There'll be, the Xbox One, the rumoured PlayStation One, maybe the Steam Machine. I don't know if that, maybe Steam Deck 2. There's rumours that that's going to be announced this year.
I reckon they'll leave it a year, and they'll give it a year.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
We'll see. But there's some Steam, we didn't say this in the news, but there's some Steam Machine price rumours or leaks or something. There was one from Czechia, but it's like hard to tell whether it includes tax and stuff or whether it's even real or whatever. But obviously it looks expensive, but like compared to a console. We shall see.
Yeah, I keep seeing headlines like talking about the $1,000 mark, something like that. Like, can they get this thing out for under $1,000? And like that being a big question mark. Yeah, because it's tough. But I think they probably can. But like if we were in the same market that we were when Steam Deck launched, absolutely they could do this. But we're not in that market anymore. The memory crisis is such a problem.
Yeah, such a problem for everything.
For absolutely everything. It's like there may be a scarcity on consoles. Like the current gen consoles are probably going to get scarce.
Remember when no one could build cars because there weren't enough chips? That's going to happen as well.
Fuck AI, honestly.
Yeah,
I could have quite happily have lived my life without being able to generate puffins at will.
Me too. It's not worth it, is it?
It isn't worth it.
I'm in the potato shop. I don't like what I see.
You're literally in a potato shop in terms of computer hardware at the moment.
Yeah,
it's true.
But even that test isn't funny anymore because AI's got to the point where it can generate Knuckles in a potato shop liking what he sees.
It understands what liking what you see means.
Yeah.
Sad times. Well, here we are.
Hey everyone, we can look forward to Mario Tennis Fever.
Can we?
I mean, that trailer they did another trailer recently.
Right.
It looks all right. It looks pretty good.
All right. But that's the trouble with Mario sports games. Is like looking all right is not sufficient, as evidenced by the fact that we didn't buy any of the previous generation of Mario sports games.
So this one does at least look like it's got way more content than the previous.
Do you think there'd be a
releases.
demo? I hope there's a demo.
Maybe. They had a network test for Aces.
Yeah, they
so
might do a network test where it's only like up for like 1 weekend, so you might have to watch out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's probable. Yeah. It seems to be like Nintendo's play these days. It's like we won't necessarily do a demo, but because this is a multiplayer focused game, we'll have a hot weekend or something.
Right.
That's what they do with Splatoon, historically.
Yeah.
It's what they did with Kirby Air Riders for some reason.
That's definitely a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Right. Sase un podcast.
Is this podcast masculine or feminine?
Oh, feminine. I have no idea. But we've come to the end. Say fini.
You know what, Norman, I realised that like today, it's like we're going to be on holiday during the last week of the Traitors.
Oh no.
That's going to suck.
Spoilers ahoy.
I know.
Don't even look at the BBC website for the entire time you're
Right,
there.
that seems to be headline BBC News. Like,
That might be an
what's going on
argument
with
for
the
me to
Traitors.
bring the Steam Deck with me, so I've got something we can watch iPlayer on. Like,
So you just watch it instead.
yeah.
But when you need like a VPN or whatever to deal
I
with that.
don't know. Yeah, just like I'll be in Spain, right? So we'll like
Because
Spain.
iFlare is UK specific, right? Quite severely.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I probably won't even have access while I'm out there, no matter what device I have. Unless, and I'm not going to buy a VPN. What am I doing? I don't need that right now. It's another expense.
Yep.
Income disposed.
Disposed. Right, your content has ended. If you want more content, we have it on the tubes, on the YouTubes. We've got a channel full of videos.
Hey, this content's free.
Yeah, it's all free. We don't even monetize.
I don't even have a Patreon. We should probably have a
Don't even
Patreon.
Yeah, God. £2 a month in.
Yeah.
Check those out because we got loads of videos. What's the latest?
More Skies of Arcadia.
More Skies of
Skies of
Arcadia.
Arcadia.
Yeah. Part 4 will be up on the tubes probably just before this podcast is released, actually.
Right.
So go enjoy part 4.
Yeah, check that out. And all our podcasts going all the way back are on our website, happysalad.net.
Indeed.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks with another one. So we'll catch you then. Bye.